going on. Not forgetting the FIFA World Cup 2026 currently ongoing. Awesome games, and some of them you are seeing them on ZBC TV. Tonight it will be Croatia taking on Ghana. So we've got 7 African teams already making it into the round of 32. So I believe there's a lot of relief and excitement all over Africa. But we're going to look at it locally. We continue in the Kasolaga Premier Soccer League, and we've got Caps United hosting Triangle United. My name is Sandra Maganya, and a warm welcome once again. I'm not alone, joined close by veteran commentator and analyst of the beautiful game, that is Spencer Nyamazao. Spencer, honored to have you once again today for another big encounter.
Pleasure to be here and to witness Caps United have been presented an opportunity to try and redeem themselves after having won one game in the last 5 encounters. And I think wins have not been coming for Caps United, and they face a struggling Triangle, an opportunity to try and cut down the lead that has been opened by 10 points. Scotland are running away. Let's see if they can make it to 7 points.
Yeah, indeed. And also joining me is a man who carries a lot of weight when it comes to our local football, carrying a lot of hats, but we know him, Dynamos, captaining them. It was exciting. Justice Majavi, a warm welcome, and are you excited for today?
Thank you, Sandra. Good afternoon, and hopefully this game, is going to bring out something. And of course, both teams, they really need a win. And looking at Caps United, they just dropped the points of late. Now they are behind Scotland, I think about 10 points. And also looking at Triangle, they also need to survive a relegation. So it's actually going to be a good game and an exciting one this afternoon.
Yeah, indeed, a big game indeed. But yesterday, if you were tuned in, it was Scotland who thrashed Manica Diamonds 5-0. And just to hear from my analyst here, in terms of the pitch in itself, is it still holding up for today's game?
I think the pitch is really looking good. I think we have to give them kudos. They are managing to maintain the pitch despite having game after game, and I think they've done a good job to try and maintain. Even Justice may also come in. He's also played on this pitch.
Yeah, how are you feeling about the pitch in terms of yesterday was a big game and today once again?
Like Sparrow said, and a lot of games have been played here, but we have tried by all means. They have done so well maintaining it. I think it's looking okay. And it's winter now. You should be seeing some gaps, but now I think it looks a little bit fine, good for the game. And kudos to them, the City Council, who are maintaining the stadium.
Yeah, and also you're seeing there just behind Justice Majavi, only a few people coming in for the game. They come in a little bit later on, maybe just experiencing the game from the start to finish, enjoying some of the music, the scenery as well, the refreshments. We are not really getting that from the fans. Take us through maybe how you're feeling. Why are they coming in late for these games?
Well, I think we need to also change the way we approach. Because if a fan comes early, they are waiting. The only entertainment they get is from 3 o'clock. So if they come at 11 or at 12, there's nothing to entertain them. I mean, even the food that's sold at the field, some people are not comfortable eating the food that's being sold here. But I also think we need to have matches being played, curtain raisers. If it's juniors coming to play, or if it's former players, legends coming to play, just a match so that the fans can come in the numbers to witness them. When we grew up, we used to watch reserves playing. You would know that this youngster, in 2 months' time or in next season, you'll be in the first team. We would know all the reserve players. So I think we need, maybe PSO needs to enforce that before every match we have a reserve team or junior team for the home team playing at Trufaro. That will also get fans coming in early, because there'll be something to watch.
Yeah, and Justice, you understand the importance of the 12th man. How does it feel coming in for the warm-up sessions, and you could see the stadium already filled?
You see now, you see all the teams are on the field, but the terraces are still empty. For motivational purposes, it's not proper. I think, like we were saying, we should be doing something earlier, just before 12. Let's have some games here for the juniors, for whoever, and also it gives people, it attracts the fans to come early at the stadium. And also, there are some players who wants to play, after they, like if you see some games, Dynamos Islanders, huge crowd are there, players get into the warm-up, you hear the sound of the of the crowd.
Yes.
You know, that alone, you know, it gives motivation going onto the field, and sometimes, you know, the confidence, you can boost your confidence from there. So I think there is need for improvement in terms of entertainment just before kickoff. Yeah.
And also, if I can just add on something, I remember back in the days, not only the reserve, there are some players that would not have made the first team. They will be given an opportunity to play in that game. So in terms of match fitness, that player will always be match fit. They're always ready if there's need to be called to play in the first team the following week.
Yeah,
sure.
indeed. It is always important to get that support from your fans. And now we focus on today's game. Caps United taking on Triangle United. And looking at Caps United, they are the team that sent shockwaves, especially at the beginning of the season, taking that top spot in terms of the log table. But after yesterday, they are now trailing Scotland by 10 points. Is the dream still alive for Caps United, realizing they still have 14 games to go?
Well, they started the season like a house on fire. I mean, they were in form. They were beating people left, right, and center. And I think there's a bit of hope still there, given that Scotland are also going to play in the Safari. So there will also be plenty games for Scotland. But Scotland do have depth. But it's what they are going to do during the window period. If they don't get a couple of additions to strengthen the team, because they are lacking of quality. They don't have a striker. They've struggled for goals. In the last 5 games, they've only scored 3 goals, and which is really a cause of concern for Caps United, who started very well. And I think even when they were winning by slender leads 2-1, 1-0. They were not scoring as effective as we're seeing what Scotland are doing. So they need to really be busy during the window, get a striker and a creative midfielder, or maybe even a beef up at the back so that they can do well.
Yeah, coming in from Matchday 19, it was a 2-1 defeat by, Rentals. That's the team that always sort of spoils the party, but we're getting some of the matches there coming in, and these are the games that are going to be played. We're seeing Simba Bora hosting Tal 1. We've got Chikanin who will be playing Hard Rock. FC Platinum will be taking on FC Hunter. So that is some of the games that are being played all over the country in terms of how today is developing. But in terms of just Caps United in itself, they're coming in from a defeat, 2 draws prior to that one. The footing hasn't been easy.
You know, I think they lost it a little bit. You know, they had form. You know, just before we go to the mid-season, before the second round resumed. But also you can see their games. You know, they've been deteriorating. No goals. You know, and now is the time. The second round of the season is quite difficult, and there are a lot of things which are happening. There are teams going for the championship. There are teams also running away from the relegation. So at this point, you know, it's very important if they have to manage, especially this game. They need to start winning from this game so that they can boost their confidence in the upcoming games, and then maybe try to utilize the chances for Scotland when they are playing in the Champions League. That's when they will capitalize, because they are going to accumulate fatigue, a lot of traveling, something like that will come. So Cape United will be fresh, and I think they also need to start utilizing whatever opportunity that is going to come so that they can catch up with the 10-point gap.
Yeah, and the team that their opponent for today, that is Triangle, anchoring the log table on the 18th position. A lot is required for this Triangle side if they are to survive the chop this time around.
I think they need a miracle this time around because if you look the way they've started the season, they've changed 3 coaches in a space of before we even in one season. Before we've only played 2 games into the second half of the season. They've already have 3 coaches. That alone speaks a lot of instability. Even for the players, it brings a lot of confusion because they have to learn different philosophies, because each coach brings their own philosophy, and it also affects the way the team performs and the way the players perform. And I think for Triangle, I don't know, they need to also beef up during the window. If they can strengthen the team, I'm not sure if they've got the funding to really strengthen the team, because it's something they need to. Because if they don't, it's one-way ticket to Division 1.
Yeah, 2 wins. You're looking at 4 draws rather, and then 13 defeats for Triangle. It's not looking good for them.
Very difficult situation, but if you look on paper, they've got the most, I think for me, is the most experienced squad in the league. They have got all the players. They have got the quality. You know, Tabani Kamsoko, very good experience. We all know him. There's also Pedra, is a very good defender. A lot Paga, a very good striker. You know, all these players in their team. You know, like we spoke about, like Sparrow said about confusion. I think it's gripping in the team. You know, changing coaches. That one alone, it makes players, you know, not really at their best, because there are different philosophies that are coming in with them. In their situation, if you look at them, they are failing to win a game. It's quite difficult. Each and every individual player is also have so many questions about where the team is going to. And last year, remember, they struggled. They also played the whole season in the relegation until to the last day. Yes. So although now it's creeping in them, are we going again to the same stage, or it is going to change? So this is the time they need to realize themselves. And if they don't, I think in the next 1-2 games, I think it's over for them.
And just to say, I wonder if they have 9 lives. I mean, last year they really rode the luck. I mean, managing to survive relegation on the last day. And this year, I don't think. I mean, like Justice says, they've got quite a number of experienced players. But do they have the chemistry? Because whenever a coach comes, they are changing the system, they are changing the strategy. So this team needs to build chemistry so that they can work together and understanding, like we have seen what Scotland has done. Now they've hit a rich vein of form. The players understand each other. Same with Caps United, the players understand each other. They know each other. And this is what we need to see from Triangle, but it's going to be a difficult one for Triangle to pull this out of the hat.
Yeah, and they have Alexio Sergion. He's the interim coach at this moment. He's now been a part of 2 games, their defeat to Chicken Inn, and this one, he's coming in, the impact. He's been the assistant, and also realizing the fact that he was at some point at Caps United.
Well, I think he's got a bit of information on Caps United, but also Caps United under a new coach, Tekshua Chiragwi. I think he's done very well in terms of the way Caps United started the season. Usually Caps United struggle, but with Tekshua Chiragwi, they started off a good season. The 3 points. Caps United are desperate for these 3 points to get the campaign back on track.
Yeah, from your end, Alexio Sergion, is he the man for the moment as they wait for a more permanent head coach?
I think it's time for him to prove himself. He has done it, okay, in several occasions. You know, he had distinct in Swaziland. He also came back here, and last year he was with Caps United, assistant to Bakala. And today he is leading Triangle. You know, in this situation, I don't know if he can manage coming from the, especially the team which is on the bottom. He's young. He's a young coach. You know, he also has a lot of things. But I think it's a good way to learn, and also looking at whatever he's going to bring. The little experience he has, I think he has to showcase it until maybe the team is settled.
Yeah, indeed, and in today's encounter there is a lot going on, especially for Caps United, and missing from the squad is Ishmael Wadi, now on 6 goals. He is a key player, but is not part of today's squad.
That's a big miss for Caps United. He's a player who is very creative in terms of going forward, in terms of even he's the top goal scorer currently at Caps United. He's been scoring the goals for Caps United. He's also been creating the goals, and I think Benura will have to also come into the party. He has not really had a good season here at Caps United, and he's also not. He's also another key player if he's going to be playing this afternoon. But he's also struggled for Caps United, and I think missing Wade, it's a big miss.
Yeah, and also their captain Hachiro, he is back in the squad. How good is it?
Of late, you know, Hachiro, you know, he's been making the team tick. But I think he lost it, especially the game at the National Sports Stadium against Scotland. That's when he dipped his form. But you know, it's normal in football. Sometimes you go off form and you will start picking up. I think him as a leader, you know, the character is good. He's a very positive player. I think today is very key and very important. Good thing is partnering one of the hard-working players in Shandirwa, although sometimes he's our, but I think he's one of those gifted players we have in the league. So I think they need to take. They make the team tick today, this afternoon. And also Brett is a good player. You complement in the midfield. I think Caps United very solid in midfield. That's where the battle is. I think if you control the midfield, you have got chances of winning a game.
Yeah, the ability to keep possession for quite long, that is Caps United during their warm-up session. It's something that has been somewhat of a cry coming in from this Caps United side, that ability to maintain possession for long enough to create something, you know, creative.
Yes, indeed. I think they really need a creative midfielder going forward. Yes, Dominic Njaliwa does a great job of winning the ball and passing it around, but they need somebody who's very creative. I think Brett will be closer to that. Brett, when he gets the ball, he pushes forward nicely, and although at times he runs himself out of position, but I think he's one player that can carry the day for Caps United, as well as Kawonga if he's in good form. He's another player that can be on fire for Caps United.
Yeah, you look at also, let's talk about their goalkeeper, Magalani. In a game that they are winning, they are also conceding goals, and the number keeps on increasing.
No, he's a good goalkeeper, to be frank enough. But the thing about him is sometimes he forgets. He makes quite some silly mistakes, of which with the level he has reached, he is not expected to be in that manner. But I think he's one of those, and he can also make Cape United win these games. And he should just work on his positive approach. And looking forward to this match, I think he's a key player as well.
And there you have it, Brett Hamidu. He's the player that was on the screen prior. But you look at the side in terms of making sure that they continue the trajectory, because they did it the first time, especially in the first half of the season. They maintained, they were quite consistent with how they approached each and every game. How do they continue with such momentum, especially coming into the second half of the season?
There's need for cohesion. They lost a little bit of it, just few games backwards, but I think that moment comes in every team, and it's now time for every player to focus, work together as a team player, bring in everything, whatever you have on the field, work extra hard. Games are not easy, especially this second round. It's quite difficult. This is where most teams, they start winning and losing games. Here it's more often, and obviously as players, you must always continue working hard, maintain the discipline as well, and have determination. I think it will help a lot.
Yeah, looking even at their prior games that they have played against Triangle United, in the games that they have won, it wasn't by a big margin. You look at the first game that they played in 2026, it was a Caps United win by just a single goal to nil, which means that Triangle is a bit of a tough team for Caps United.
Like I mentioned at the top of the program, goals have been scarce for Caps United. I think they've been playing beautiful football, exciting football, but they have just not hit the back of the net. And I think they need a natural striker, somebody that can put the ball in the back of the net. Yes, Wadi here and there he scores, but he's more of a winger. They need a gunslinger, somebody that knows how to take those chances. I mean, look at Ralph Contra when he's playing for Rentals. When he plays that number 9, he gets to score in almost every game he plays as a striker. So that's they need a reliable striker so that they can get those goals.
Yeah, and let's look at Triangle United. Majavi, you highlighted something, the experience that is coming in from this side, Triangle United. Let's talk about Kamsoko for a moment.
Kamsoko, he's been in the game for quite long, with also international experience. He was also a member of the national team during his days when he was playing for Young Africa in Tanzania. I think he has got a lot to offer this afternoon, and obviously looking forward to him with whatever experience he has been. He also been in this situation, I think, with Sundowns when he played for Sundowns from Blawayo some years back. But taking into this game, you see, it's a quality squad. They've got Chintule as well, former Caps United, very good player, and very tricky. I think they also have something this afternoon against their former paymasters.
Yeah, indeed, it's going to be an exciting one. And another player of note, Ngazima as well. He's one player that they are hoping is going to step up today.
The Sugar Boys out there in Triangle, they're all expecting Ngazima to be at his best and try and win, as we see the Triangle players just going through the paces ahead of this encounter. Obviously, the Low Veld, they'll want Triangle to maintain their Premier League status, because it does bring a lot of domestic tourism when teams go down to the Low Veld. I mean, it would be sad if Triangle are relegated. We need them in the Premiership so that the Low Veld can continue to benefit the domestic tourism that comes when there's Premier League football at Gibo.
Yeah, indeed, it is always exciting, and the fans will always love a good, beautiful game, especially when it's close by, nearby, somewhere where you just look and get a glimpse of the beautiful game. But Triangle, the Sugar Boys, today, it's an away game. their away result hasn't been that good, but we're going to continue talking about Triangle a bit after we hear what the managers had to say ahead of today's encounter. Yeah, those were the coaches coming in there, a lot coming in from the coaches. Just briefly, your thoughts in terms of just going into this encounter.
In whatever they said, and looking at this game, there is someone who's gunning for championship, there's someone who wants to run away from the relegation.
Yes.
So they all have something for their players, and also trying to maintain their squads and win the game. I think it's very important. What I'm worried about is the triangle, the weather, because a little bit chilly here this side. Today, it's sunny, but a little bit chilly. That coldness against their region,
Yes.
I think it can be an effect, especially in the second half. Let's see how they start.
Yeah, indeed. And predictions and why. I'm start with you, Spencer.
A lot to play for both teams, but I think Caps will take this on 2-1. They desperately need the 3 points.
Okay, and then Machavi,
I think a draw, 1-1 for me.
coming from the experience of prior games.
Yeah, they've got a former coach, former players as well. For Cape United who are playing for Triangle, so they also have something to prove, especially when they come here. They usually don't lose a lot, but let's see, against Cape United, they always get a little bit favorable result.
Yeah, indeed. And there you have it. The clock is ticking seconds away from the start of today's encounter at Rufaro Stadium. It is Caps United who will be playing Triangle United. So we are crossing over to the commentary where they are going to be giving you the first 45 minutes of today's game.
Pleasant afternoon for a game of football here at Rufaro Stadium. It is Caps United, the home team, taking on struggling team at the bottom of the table, Triangle United. My name is Tendaisman, and besides me is Maxo Mandizidze. So much to play for those two teams. The home team having been at the top of the table in the better half of the season, in the first half of the season. But after the derby against Dynamo's, points started dropping, and they've played a total of 9 games, and they've only managed to get 1 win. It's difficult for Tekshua Chiragwi, who was out of the team for a moment when he was the assistant, when he was with Kaitano Tembo and the Unity Cup. But for Triangle United, using their interim manager at this point, a man who's also familiar with Caps United, they hope that at this present time they would get a positive result. We are going to be going for the national anthem, and for that, after that, we come back and talk about football. And that is the national anthem of Zimbabwe to kickstart everything that is going to be happening in Matchday number 20, day 2 of Matchday number 20. And once again, welcome fans of football across the world, fans of football in Zimbabwe and fans of the Kasolaga Premier League. This is Caps United, the home team, currently sitting on 4th position with 33 points, taking on Triangle United at the bottom of the table, separated by a big with 18 points. It hasn't been easy for Triangle United, and they let go of the services of a former Caps United manager, Lloyd Chitembwe. And in this regard, is going to be on the dugout is going to be his assistant, Alexio Sejion, to make sure that Triangle United get a positive result. The first time they played in the reverse fixture, it was Caps United that came out victorious with a 1-0 lead or 1-0 victory, courtesy of a Chawananga Kaonga goal in the 70th minute. And from there, Caps United were in a flying form, winning 4 of their first opening fixtures. But then it all turned downwards. Now we look into the center. The referees Tichaona Tigere, Oscar Bume, Gaudensia Chikwezero, Prince Moyo, and the Mesh Commissioner Tambudzai Tavengwa. These are the people responsible for administering the law and making sure that rules are administered and followed as they ought to be. So now for Triangle, it hasn't been easy for them as well, with one of their star players also missing out due to an injury. That is Bakari, one of their top goal scorers, managing to get 4 goals this season. For Caps United, they are going to be without their star player Ishmael Wadi. Looking into the trusted 11, Wallace Magalane retains his place in the starting 11. The centre back pairing, the 3 defenders without Kudzai Chiguida. Chitoshi Shinga comes in together with Chamboko and Nyasha Gurende. Achiro and Shandirwa also in that midfield together with Breta Midu. Obreo Chirinda is going to be the centre forward together with Chawananga Kaonga. Maroa will be playing on the right wing and will be hoping to add a little bit of flair. That is the trusted 11 from Tekshua Chiragwi. From Sejian, Bisabani David in goal together with Ariel Makopa, Msonda and Pedra as the 4 centre backs. And in a midfield, it's going to be the much experienced Tabani Kamsoko with Reginald Nkazima and Aaron Zeka, who was with a Northern Region Soccer League side, together with Tito Nyasha Chintuli, Tawanda Denzo Chantuluka, and Jigo as the trusted forward. Maxwell, this is the team that has been trusted by either managers. What a game we do have on our hands.
Yeah, it's a pleasant afternoon to you, Tendai, as well, and the fans of the Kasolaga Premiership. Very important game for both teams, in particular for different reasons. For Caps United, I think they were in flying form in the start of the season, also going on to win the Harare Derby along the way. And just some time during the season, they did lose very valuable points.
Now Triangle trying to get on with the proceedings early in the moment. Doing so from the right flank, where there will be one of the most exciting players exchanging wings as well, Tito Nyasha Shintuli. So now playing it through to Maroe, crossfield pass. And now Obreo Chirinda collects, and they will attack goal, but good defending. Almost setting the tone and the tempo in the first opening minutes of the game. What a good run from Obreo Chirinda, picking up that cross into the box.
Yeah, good show of intent from Caps United. And on the other end, it was Triangle who looked like we were going to get the opener. That very good touch going away from goal, but trying to draw it back, and the goalkeeper was very good to come out early. There was a miscue from Makopa, which could have led the goal to settle easily for Caps United player. Credit to the goalkeeper for keeping his eyes on the action.
David Bisabani clearing his lines there. Good anticipation of the ball. Chawananga Kaonga, who scored in the reverse fixture in the 70th minute. His goal was the solitary goal that was the difference when these two sides met. Was about to open his credit again in the opening minute of this game. But Bisabani, good anticipation altogether.
Yeah, it's a decent enough start from Triangle themselves. Look like they know exactly what they want to do. It's not easy when you're anchoring the log table. They've just not been able to get their season going, Triangle. And with only a few games remaining, I think it's high time they start to get some points on the log table. 4 teams will be chopped, and they're the ones directly at the bottom. For Caps United, I think it's a season that could have been way better than it is now. 4th, 10 points away from the top, and at a certain point when they were in that purple patch, we thought they were real title contenders, and they would want to make sure that they continue on that vein of form. Not quite sure if they're still title contenders though tonight.
Well, Caps United are now trailing log leaders by a big margin of 10 points. But talking to Tech Shorchiravi, the gaffer before the game, he was saying we don't really focus on what's happening with other teams, and he says the season is still has a long way to go, and Caps United will surely bounce back. And a foul there for the triangle man.
Yeah, they've had some draws, Caps United, and actually their recent 2-1 defeat against the Rangers right here from Rufaro Stadium, probably a little bit disappointing, but they were playing a very competitive team, probably the surprise package of the season in High Rangers, and the Green Machine fans have been very faithful. They still believe, I would think.
It was quite a disappointing afternoon after Ishmael Wadi had opened up the scoring for Caps United, but 2 late goals from Rangers, with Ralph Kawandera being the first player to get double digits. It was the much needed goal to sink this rather struggling ship for Caps United, but they don't want to believe out so that the club is struggling in terms of accumulating points.
Yeah, they'll definitely also miss Wadi, who is netting a knock. I think he's a real instigator if you're talking about their attack approach as well on the wings. He does like to get the fans involved as well, Wadi. And today he will be watching from the bench.
3 crucial players for Caps United not part of this encounter this afternoon. Now Maroa with a cross into the box, but too much for the lacking Chawanangwa Kaonga, who has put in a decent number of games, but he's quite industrious. If his name is not on the score sheet, you just definitely know that there are other ways of contribution that he would have helped the team with. I'm just talking about the players that are missing. You also talk of Kuzai Chubida, the trusted centre back, and Benura as well, who has managed to score 4 goals so far for Caps United. But then for Manika Diamonds, they are without one of their star players as well. Or rather, I beg your pardon, for Triangle. One of their star players, so it means they are also lacking in firepower. But they do have Joki in front of the line, who managed to score in the game they lost to Chicken Inn by 2-1.
Yeah, also the likes of Sintuli is very experienced as well as Taban Kamsoko. I think they'll be looking at those 2-3 players to be able to give them some inspiration and some stability against a very steady Caps United midfield, with Chiro being the leader of the pack.
Good. Now Achiro, the skipper, charging forward. Barely do you see him run with the ball, trying to play Marua. Pedra for Triangle, a man that was with the Norton-based outfit Moors United in their days in the Northern Region Soccer League. Was quite unfortunate to not play for Moors when they did get the qualification into the Casablanca Premier League, but was a very instrumental defender during his days in the Northern Region Soccer League. The tall and lanky defender, playing as the right back for Triangle this afternoon. Now Magalane to Chitoshi Shinga. Well, the plan for Caps United, as stated by the manager, is to quickly retain the ball. Says most of our problems in the last 8 games has been losing possession quickly, and they want to focus on retention and making sure that they do control the proceedings. And you can see maybe that's what they're trying to do earlier on.
Yeah, definitely you need to be able to control the game if you want to make sure that in those scrappy games you still get those 3 points. I think a clear example was when they laid against the Rangers and how they couldn't get hold of the ball as much, allowing the Rangers to creep into the game, and at the end of the day they lost the 3 points.
So Chitoshi Shinga from the right, flank, crossing it from the deep. Always looking for Chawananga Kaonga. Now Pedra driving forward. A good control of the ball. And now an effort to bring the ball into the box. Now triangle lurking. And a good return and response after Caps United had the better possession of the ball. Now they're just also trying to replicate what Caps United has been doing, and it's good that they get the feel of the final third early on into the game.
Yeah, good. I think, let's just say, John won't be feeling too bad after that start from his team. You always want to stay in the game. You're at the bottom. You definitely have nothing to lose. You have to go for the points if you are to serve yourself. Those draws won't mean a lot, especially with where the season is. It's already getting too late. And every game, no matter who you are playing, you have to believe that you can get those crucial 3 points.
So much confidence in the middle of the park for Caps United, the team in green and white. Maybe such could be expected with the vast experience of Tanaka Shandirwa, who started this almost third game in a row, was now part of the fringe players. And there was no clear explanation on why he was being dropped. But on a good day, he can marshal that midfield together with Richard Achiro. Now Achiro trying to play Obreo Chirinda through. But the defense has been quite heavy on him. You look into Enoch Karembo, who is going to be enjoying this tussle between the two players, who are almost similar in build. But with Obreo Chirinda almost looking like the bodybuilder.
Yeah, definitely a strong player, Chirinda. You will always be in those battles with the defenders, trying to use his advantage or his masculinity to take advantage as well. He also does have the technical ability when he is in possession. He talks about the likes of Lukaku and how they've been well known for using their borders in terms of getting an advantage with the defenders. And that time around, the free kick going the other way, I thought it was actually a free kick that time around.
Njaliwa. No, a mistake between the two triangle players. The ball just ricocheting off the knee. And they did quite well to save the corner kick. Sometimes, you know, the log table doesn't really give a clear picture on how teams do play. Shot from range from Breta Midu. We have seen so many teams in the Kasalaga Premier League in the past 19 or so games where the way they play is not truly a clear testament of the log standings. I mean, there are teams that can give the big opposition quite a run of them for their money, but then at the end of the game they do then concede unnecessary goals, and you then see them at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, well, I think it's just a testament to how competitive the league has been of recent as well. When you see these teams at the bottom, it's not really because they do not have the good players. Sometimes it's also the background noises and problems that go into actually contributing to the form of these teams. But I'll tell you, you will always be given a run for your money, no matter where you're playing in the Kasalaga Premiership.
So Caps United throw in. So now Chawananga Kaonga, a man who likes to go on his paces. Now the first corner kick of the day goes to Caps United.
Yeah, good from Kaonga, running at the defenders and being able to get a corner kick for Caps United. I think you've started quite well from both flanks as well, even though they do not have the services of Ishmael Wadi.
So now it's Kaonga who will take the corner kick duties. Shandirwa has been relieved. Now floats one in. Goalkeeper doesn't serve it first time. Now Breta Midu. Chirinda with so much space. And you unleash one! Obreo Chirinda. Double save! Jaliwa trying to go for the third one. Caps United still attacking Chirinda. Flicking on to Breta Midu. And the offside flag has been lifted up before Toshishinga. A good cross one into the box. What a moment of madness in that box. It looks like it's Pedra who has gone down to the ground.
A good shot here from Tirinda. I think he got so much space on the rebound. Bizabani, the goalkeeper, doing so well, unleashing a venomous left shot there, and the goalkeeper probably a little bit straight to him, and on the rebound again. Good work from Bizabani, saving his team from conceding the opener that time around. I think that wasn't very good from Dominic Msonda, just watching Chirinda coming through at the edge of the box. First time save that time around. Did well again to get up and make sure that he distracts the striker to take another shot, Bizabani. And in that chaos, I think there was a player down for triangle.
And then Pedra looks to be back up on his feet and will be introduced shortly. But what a moment for both the attacking team and the defending team. I think the problem came when Msonda allowed Obrocherinda to run crossfield, allowing him to go on his favorite foot and unleash a strike, which I think Bizabani dealt with quite comfortably.
Yeah,
But
they have to watch that, definitely triangle.
A triple save from Bizabani.
Brilliant save from the goalkeeper. Under pressure, keeping his eyes on the ball. And definitely saving a goal there that time around David Bizabani.
Oh, an attempt of a first-time cross from Tanaka Shandirwa, not going exactly where you would have wanted it to go.
Yeah, it's been a good start from Cape United. Almost all the players showing up. Amidu that time around had a shot at goal, probably flying over. But you also see how effective the likes of Kawonga have been on the flank. Aubrey Chirinda, shot on target. Very unlucky not to get the open at that time around Cape United, but it shows you how the players have been showing up for this game.
So Pedra on the ground again, looks like he's in a little bit of discomfort, and this is exactly what you don't want to see. And that's that Elliot chance when Msonda just allowed Obro Chirinda to run crossfield across that box.
Yeah, good save from Izabani. A little bit straight at him, but quite a venomous shot. And also, that second time around, Dominic Njaliwa on the rebound, and Bizabani was there again to save. Worrying signs though for triangle, with only 14 minutes played in the first half.
So almost a quarter of an hour of football being played here, and Caps United asking all the necessary questions. But also have to give credit to Bizabani, who has been impressive with a triple save. Now Chintuli. The ball finding Tabani Kamsoko. I mean, who can forget Tabani Kamsoko? Loyal servant of the game, and also playing for the Warriors at some point. Chintuli doing quite well to keep possession of the ball. Now good maintenance of the ball. Kamsoko to Karembo. Now they've recycled play in a quite a good way, and the confirmation of the score, still nothing to write home about. Still nil all. Achiro. And Caps United having to do the little bit of defending. Achiro with a flick, almost missing its intended target, but Gurende was quick to not where the ball was supposed to go. Now moving away from danger quickly, and Kawonga was found offside again. It looks like it's the way they want to play. So many balls have been hit just over the defenders, trying to find the quick fit of Chawananga Kawonga, and in all those attempts it hasn't worked again. It looks like it's an early afternoon for Pedra, who doesn't look like he's going to continue.
Yeah, he has tried, hasn't he, Pedra, to stay in the game, but it looks like that knock has gotten the better of him. I think it has been a little bit positive as well, Triangle. Not just trying to play it forward aimlessly, but trying to keep it on the ground. That time around, losing the position. And you were talking about how Cape United are looking for those quick releases. I think they would do better if they would have that patient approach as well and try to keep position a little bit. In terms of that position balance, the tactic is quite interesting because Triangle have not surrendered it. Anyhow, they've been able to retain it and keep the ball quite well. Now the business in, that's where they have to do better going forward.
So it looks like Alexio Sejion, the interim manager, will be forced to make an early substitution, a forced substitution. Chito Shishinga almost flicking it back to his own defender. Now it's trying on the attack, coming in from the left flank. Finding Aaron Zeka, who then loses possession. Maroa to Shandirwa. Amidu open. So much space. Ngurende charging forward. Now a cross into the box, but Bizabani does so well to parry it away. And playing it no man's land, quite unorthodox from Triangle after they'd done so well to have possession and they just knock it over.
Yeah, that time around, I think that's not what you want to see if you're the manager for Triangle. They did well to defend that, but positive from Cape United. Quite comfortable on the ball. Breta Midu releasing for that cross into the box.
Now Bizabani, good hands. It almost looks like Pedra wants to still play, not going down easily. But usually in those moments, managers will start thinking about caution. And I hope him persisting to play won't be something that big fires against him. Now Triangle playing in the final third. Shandirwa coming in clutch. Low driven cross, and it has gone out for a corner kick.
Yeah, very important, this corner kicks, especially for a team that has only won 2 games in the season. You've already been struggling to get those wins and those goals. You want to make sure that you make it count when you get a half chance like a corner kick.
What a story it will be for Pedra if he's to score this one with the first corner kick for Triangle, when everyone else thought that maybe his afternoon is done and dusted. So the skipper Tabani Kamsoko to take, and he floats one in. Doesn't do well to be the first man covering that near post for Cape United, and in 10 they will revert to a throw in with the man in question, Pedra, to take the throw in, and you'll be guaranteed it's going to be a long throw. He does play it short.
Yeah, good to see him soldiering on. He knows exactly where his team is. And he knows how crucial his contribution can be if he can still continue to play for the 90 minutes.
Oh, looks like he's struggling to run, Pedra. Now Kaonga will do so much to keep it in play. Defson Maroa back to Kaonga, and has been flagged for offside.
Yeah, interesting call there from the first assistant. And there was a loud groan from the Cape United players and fans alike. It didn't really look like it was offside. And I think the assistant would know better.
Well, that's Oscar Boume waving his offside flag, much to the dismay of Cape United fans. Now to Chona to get it. Zvlana's whistle for that high boot. And there's an outgrowing frustration with those Cape United players and fans, and I think the core here is the played it whilst it was rolling, and his message is, listen to me.
Yeah, those are the rules of the game. Unfortunately, you have to make sure that the ball comes to a stop before you play it.
Trying to find Breta Midu. And goal kick is the call. Well, a decent turnout for either set of fans. Not your usual Caps United number that you'd expect, but it's good. And of course, to have that feel of what's happening in day 2 of Matchday number 20.
Yeah, good encouraging as well to see from the fans. Texture we knows how much the fans can be of an impact here at Faro Stadium. And I think it has been a decent turnout. For a moment during the season, they thought they were flying away with it, the Green Machine. Still 10 points away from the top, with the red-hot form of the likes of Hard Rock and Scotland. It's going to be a difficult catch.
So Caps United currently sitting 4th, and that is Ian Bakala, who is now assistant at some point. He was the man in the driving seat, was with Caps United in the last games of the 2025 season. And then Texture came in. We have it defending from Dominic Msonda, the former Nyasa Big Bullets man, who's now playing for Triangle. Decided to leave the Zambian the side and now coming in to play in the Kasolaga Premier League.
Yeah, then Triangle have done well just to frustrate Caps United. For just see the Hachiro edging Breta Midu and Chitoshi to calm down a little bit. You can sense the frustration. I think they would have thought that they could have been ahead by now, especially when you're playing a team at the bottom. But like what you're saying tonight, that doesn't really tell you the story, does it? When it comes to the actual game, I think Triangle are holding their own here.
Caps United started the season with 4 good wins, and it was in Matchday 3 that they found the win against Triangle. And another thing is they haven't really been up to the task ever since they played the big Harare Derby here at Rufaro Stadium. And from there, they've only managed to get 1 win in as much as 9 games.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's a stoppage in play with Tigere having a word with Bisabani.
Oh, I think probably the new rules today. The goalkeeper holding on to the ball too long, and it will be a corner kick. And those are the new rules that came from FIFA that are currently being implemented at the World Cup, and the first to see it in the Kasolaga Premiership.
There's a first for everything, and I think to those that are asking the question, this is exactly what the people in the USA, the people in Mexico, the people in Canada are experiencing.
Yeah, Bisabani, he couldn't believe, but I think that was good from the referee. Those are the new rules. We were told they were going to be implemented in the Kasolaga Premiership soon, and I think that's exactly what we saw there. The goalkeeper taking too long to release the ball as a goal kick, and that in turn gives the opponent a corner kick.
So there's a certain number of seconds that any goalkeeper is allowed to have on the ball, and any amount of seconds that surpasses that will be regarded as time wasting, and in turn a corner kick is going to be given to the opposition team. And also you have to look into the amount of injuries in trying to curb the time wasting. It's good that we are now going to be seeing free, fast-flowing football, and gone are the days probably we're going to be seeing those start-stops which probably disturb the rhythm of the game.
Yeah, especially the one to give an opponent a corner kick is an impressive one. I think it would do a lot for our own game. We do see a lot of minutes wasted, especially on those restarts of the game.
Obrochurinda to Breta Midu. Now Shandirwa with a loose touch, failing to control it as they were getting closer to the box. But they have enjoyed the iron share of possession. Gives them a little bit of confidence. Now Achiro Chitoshi Shinga. Maroa. Achiro, the captain. Back to Shandirwa. Chitoshi Shinga. Oh, good from the defender. Now playing Maroa, Tefson Maroa. And Obro Chirinda does recollect. Left-footed cross into the box, but no one to cause any sorts of problems. Now Achiro to Dexon Maroa, playing it through to Kaonga, and it does go down. Tigere will point to the sport. Yeah, we could feel that something was cooking for Caps United, and it just came in the 26th minute after good passes were being neated from left and right. And after he was played through Chawananga Kaonga, he has tumbled to the ground and Tigere is blown for a penalty.
Yeah, David Bizabani going straight to the first assistant to argue his case. I think it was Kaonga who got the first touch, and definitely I think it's a foul. Hands on his foot just when he took that first touch. Kaonga going away from the goalkeeper. It looks quite clear. I think from this angle that will tell us better. Yeah, I think it's a foul and a definite penalty. I think the referee was spot on there.
Wow, the no-nonsense referee Chawana Tigere doesn't want anything to do with the cries of this disgruntled triangle side. He's trying to stand his ground, and it's the captain Tabani Kamsoko having a word. But one thing also, this triangle players need to be worried of how they approach the referee as well.
Yeah, I was just about to say that today. And I think the skipper Kamsoko, with all his experience, would definitely know better. There's nothing that they are going to say that is going to change the referee's decision. And I think it would be better for Tabani to calm his players down, and also for David Bizabani to go back to his line and try to think about the upcoming penalty, which on replay, to be fair enough, did really show hands on Kaonga, and that will be Sejon probably disappointed with that penalty being allowed.
Well, Caps United was now starting to ask a lot of questions, and in this regard, when questions are asked, even the Holy Book says you ask and it shall be given unto you.
Yeah, but just look at what those triangle players are doing on that penalty spot, working on it with their studs, probably just trying to put off whoever is going to come and take the penalty. I don't think that should be allowed.
Well,
you can clearly see that he's standing on that penalty spot.
That's Nyasha Chintuli.
That has to be a punishable offense, and I think that's what Obro Chirinda is complaining to the referee, and probably we're going to be seeing a yellow card.
And then Chintuli has been awarded the first yellow card of the game after tampering with the penalty spot. Quite clumsy for an experienced player. It was quite visible, and he did it straight in the eyes of Chawana Tigere. He was not tolerating any pleas. And then
yeah, you can just see from that replay today, Bizabani, his hands straight up, and saying he didn't have a touch on him.
So now a lot of time being wasted. You see the goalkeeper Bizabani not on his line.
But just look at the amount of time that has been wasted before that penalty could have been taken. And those players just being allowed to do whatever they want. Kamsoko again going to interfere with the player who's going to be taking the penalty. Should he be standing there? I don't think that should be allowed as well.
Well, for Tabari Kamsoko, already the captain of a team that is the bottom, that's anchoring the other 17 teams. You really do not want it. And mind games being played by Caps United. At some point you thought that it was Richard Achiro was going to take, and they messed with the mind of Richard Achiro. Almost something that we saw in the final, in the Champions League final between Arsenal and PSG. So now Chawananga Kaonga from 11 meters. But after that chaos and lengthy break to take the penalty, is he going to convert? And he does. Bottom left corner. The man who opened the scoring in the first time they met this season has once again scored against his opponents, and it's 1-0 to Caps United. Played comfortably well by Chawananga Kaonga.
Yeah, a well taken penalty into the left bottom corner. No stuttering runs or anything. The goalkeeper went in the right direction, but just too much power and accuracy on that penalty. A clean one as well. despite the penalty spot being tampered with, way into the bottom, and a clinical finish from Kawonga.
Well, that took time to be played, that penalty. That has given Caps United the much-needed advantage, almost getting to the half-time break. Caps United have been quite fortunate in this last round of games to be getting penalties. Amidu. Jaliwa to Chitoshi Shinga. But for Caps United, their usual penalty takers are not on the field. Chibida and Ishmael Wadi. And Kawonga stepped up to take one.
Yeah, and it's just the mentality for Triangle. When the penalty has already been given, there's nothing else that is going to change. You're actually wasting your own time in terms of trying to get back in the game if it is then scored.
Well, concede early and respond early, maybe. Which could be the message.
Yeah, you're 18th, you're on the bottom of the log table. You have to have a positive mentality, not to try to argue with the referee, trying to change his mind. And Bizabani has been brilliant. We're talking about that brilliant save that he made. And at that point in time, and that penalty, I think there was definite contact. And the referee rightly so awarding the penalty.
Before this game, or before Caps United scored that penalty, the Triangle had conceded a total of 26 goals, which has been somehow a testament of how defensively poor they are. And that's the confirmation of the score. And when you're looking into the amount of goals that the teams at the top of the table have scored, you talk of your Dynamos, you talk of your Hard Rock, and you talk of your Scotland, who scored 5 from the 27 they had before they played against Manica. And now you have a team at the bottom of the table having conceded 27, which is really disappointing. And they are 10 in front of goal. They've only scored 10 as well.
Yeah, very disappointing. Also 12 losses in that run. And you can just see, especially when they have chances like this today, you just got to put the ball into the box. Give your strikers a chance. Just float one in and make sure that the lesser Chintuli can get a chance in the box. And that time around, wasting a good opportunity, I would say. And that tells you a story of why they're anchoring the log table.
Well, service hasn't been given to Stephen Jogi, one of their star players. And we did predict it was going to be difficult, since one of their top goal scorers, Bakari, is not also part of the game, out due to injury. And this penalty has just made it way more difficult. But the question is always in a game of football, how do you respond, if you are going to be responding at all?
Yeah, they have had a few in the game. I think they've played positively in some instances, just in that final third where they've probably not made better use of the ball. And I don't think there should be too much disgruntled with being 1-0 down as it is. They still have a chance in this game if they continue playing positively. They just have to make sure that they don't allow Caps United to score the second.
Now Kawonga, not the best cross into the box, defended first time by Erio Makopa. So 35 minutes played, 10 minutes left of normal regulation time in this first half. Jogi, the man who's been struggling to get a little bit of decent service. Good leg work, but Richard Achiro together with Obro Chirinda coming to him. A quick fit from Tanaka Shandirwa. Amidu finding Gurende.
Yeah, I think there have been good combinations between Obro Chirinda and Amidu as well. They've just picked up the tempo, haven't they, Caps United, after going a go up. In the moments before that, you were talking about how good the setup play has been towards that penalty that they ended up getting. I think that's what more Czech Shochorage would want to see more, as well as the fans that have come in to support Caps United this afternoon.
While he was screaming to Brett Mead to play the ball forward, not crossfield. He believes with this momentum you really need to capitalize on it. Kamsoko jumping higher, playing it forward. Now Amidu. Playing it to a heavily marked Shandirwa. Msonde. Playing it. And Maroa coming in at the time before it was about to be unleashed by Aaron Zeka.
Yeah, Maroa just sneaking behind Zeka. And he thought that was a good setup play from Triangle. Good from Maroa just to come from behind and nick it away.
So now Pedra finding Kamsoko. Chintuli. Kamsoko making a run. Now they can attack the back of the net. Good play altogether. And they have responded. We have been looking for that response. And Aaron Zeka has given us the perfect response. 1-1 Triangle. What a good play.
And what a time to score again for Triangle as well. 37 minutes played. After going a goal down, and Zeka with that calm finish. Playing it into the back of the net. And Caps United, I think for a moment, just lost where the play was. Good setup play, you can see from here. Cross into the box. And before it even bounced, well, cool, calm and collected Zeka, being able to deliver the finish with the top of his foot. And Wallace Magalani just could not get his hands onto the ball. A lovely setup here. Finding himself alone in the box. Probably should have been marked here, Zeka. But he had the hard work to do it. And he done exactly that. Good from Triangle. A very good response.
And in all that celebration, Bisabani has also been given a yellow card. But that strike from Aaron Zeka, a man who made a name for himself playing in the Northern Region Soccer League for Golden Eagles. The team that's situated at the Eagles Nest there by Alice Robbins. And now he's playing in the Kasolaga Premier League. It also shows you how good players from the Division 1 have been in this past seasons. We have seen a number of transfers from especially Golden Eagles into the top flight. You talk of your Trevor Bono for FC Platinum, you talk of your Bernard Chupanera, you talk of even Aaron Zeka as well. Shows you that, you know, the good football is down there in Division 1.
Yeah, probably one of the most competitive divisions as well in the Northern Region Soccer League. But you can just see, we're just talking about how they should focus on the game and how they had been playing well in bits and pieces, I should say, Triangle. That time around in that final third, taking their time in the build-up, being able to pass it around. They're very good passers of the ball in the team. And they got to unleash that finish. A very good and well-calculated response from Triangle. Now with only 5 minutes left to go into the break.
Caps United will be disappointed if they don't pull one back going into the halftime break. They are the team that has been showing signs of life, and they could have been 2 or 3 more goals ahead. But now this response will put a dent in how they want to reduce the gap with them and the log leaders.
Yeah, this is the kind of game that you won't want to take lightly. You were talking about how the position on the log table doesn't tell the actual story.
It's a confirmation of the score there. Caps United 1 through Kaonga from 11 meters from the spot. And a moments later, a response from Aaron Zeka, perfectly crafted. You also have to talk about the impact Tabani Kamsoka had to play with that first time pass to the left and that first time delivery. Well curated goal for the team in blue.
Yeah, almost a team goal, wasn't it? Good number of neat passes before that ball went into the box. And just before it even bounced on the volley, Zeka had the quality to beat Magalani and go for Caps United. That should definitely lift them up in terms of their spirits. Triangle going into the break.
Pedra. The teasing ball into the box, and he would like to go again. This time and place it to the feet of Tawanda Chitaluka.
Yeah, you were talking about how even Texo Chiragi knew the importance of getting that second goal in that moment. I think he knew exactly the kind of threat that Triangle could pose.
And of course, And he was shouting on top of his voice to Brett Amidu to play it forward. You always want to get a goal, especially a second one, to just cushion that lead. And this is exactly what Caps United failed to do. But in their failure, Triangle have managed to capitalize and level scores here. They wouldn't want to leave Rufaro Stadium without 3 maximum points here, Caps United.
Yeah, especially after that loss to Rangers. That will be 6 points, probably 4 drop if it will end in a draw. They would really want to get themselves back into that winning field again and try to push a little bit up the log table. They haven't played badly. Credit has to go to Triangle, who were brilliant in that build-up.
Of course. Now Magalane will find Nyasha Gurende. Amidu cushioning to Kaonga. Was waiting for the run of Maroa. Now Amidu! Almost from the mercurial midfielder. But I believe it could have been taken way earlier. Was there an end to it? Probably there was an end to it.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a corner kick. Wonderful strike from Amidu from range, just on the edge of the box.
Maybe a deflection.
I think there was a deflection, definitely deflection. That could have been on target, I presume. Amidu, quite a technically gifted player. Unleashing one, trying to get the second for Caps United. And now there's a player down for Triangle, taking away from the momentum that Caps United have been building.
And this time it's not Jordan Pedra. He was a victim of going down to the ground so many times. I think this is Ario Makopa who's down. Probably after that strike from Brett Amidu. Wanted to tear the roof off.
Yeah, Caps United fans, they're loving what they're saying, but they will be disappointed because of that equalizer. Brett Amidu, I think he's in very good form. You can just feel him in this game. Just taking back a look at that penalty incident again. Bizamani, quick to say it was not, but a very good finish from Kaonga, beating the goalkeeper. All hands up. And at that point, you thought Caps United were probably in control before this moment. Oh, that's lovely. Cross into the box. First time finish from Zeka. Lovely finish. Putting a spin onto the ball, which is probably took it away from Magalani. And the celebration to match as well.
Caught unaway. Caught not even expecting a strike of that magnitude. And then confirmation of it at time as we are reaching the halfway point of the game. 4 minutes from the fourth official. But then for now, we do have a corner kick. And it is going to be Chamboko who delivers. He can put in a mean cross. He has done so on numerous occasions. And Karembo just taking his time to get up. So now Chamboko to float one in. Shandirwa quite industrious. Probably one of the best players for Caps United in the first 45 minutes. Has been everywhere, covering every blade of grass. He has been good to watch.
Yeah, definitely Shandirwa. It looks like he's up to the task. He's made a lot of running and a lot of tackles as well. Very good combinations with Achiro also, and allowing Brett Amidu to flourish up front, being a threat as well without much of those defensive responsibilities. A very good shift so far from Shandiro.
Dominic Msonda, man who played almost some of his good games for Nyasa Big Bullets, and you'd also know Nyasa Big Bullets because of Kalisto Pasua, the former Dynamo Scaffer, winning 4 in a row. And after that 2025 season, he has now joined Triangle. Dominic Msonda. Just shows you how lucrative sometimes the Kasolaga Premier League is. in terms of talent, important. Magalani punches it away. Now Amidu. Kaonga being marked from behind, disturbing any chances of Caps United playing it quickly. Amidu will play to Jaliwa. Amidu turning into dangerous area. There was a lot of traffic, so much space now. Chintuli. Good coming in from Ngurende. Anticipated the tackle quite well. You always have to be very careful when you're diving in such a manner. You miss the ball, you get a card. You get the ball, you're a hero.
Yeah, definitely. That could have been a good break for Triangle going into the break.
Almost looks like there was a hand there.
Yeah, it did well to intercept that pass. I think probably a little bit short the pass as well. And one thing that Caps United would not want to see was Triangle taking the lead going into the break. I think that would be absolutely a disaster for Caps United. And they are having these chances, especially this kind of set pieces. You want a good delivery into the box. And anxiously watching the Caps United bench. You want to give those chances to your strikers in the box, something to attack, something to put a head onto. And waiting to see what kind of a delivery Pedro can actually deliver.
Almost looks like Tichawana Tigere has been the busiest of the personnel on the field of play. He has done a lot of talking. And then Karembo signaling to Tigere about the position where Shandiro is currently at. So now Pedro will restart play. The cross overhead that Magalani has made a mistake on, and they found the back of the net. Can you believe it? He has made those mistakes before, and now Triangle have pounced on it. Disappointing, but good fortune for Triangle.
Yeah, we were just talking about how this could have been a disaster for Caps United going into the break, and what a howler from Magalani. Flick back over, and I think there was a number 18 Zeka coming in to challenge the ball, and he misjudged it. Magalani trying to punch it with both fists, and it went through him, and everybody was watching in despair as the ball trickled into the back of the neck. Just there, Zeka putting in the much needed challenge on Magalani, who then lost track of where the ball was. And the Caps United fans up in protest, not happy with what they've seen, and that will be the halftime break.
And that overhead kick, probably from Jogi, was the last kick of the first 45 minutes. Magalani dejected and disappointed. And you also look into Triangle.
Yeah, but it's lovely to see tonight the support coming from the bench and everyone trying to encourage Magalani not to focus on that mistake, with the fans really on his back. I think it's good to see how the rest of the team is coming to support him. It does happen to the best of us, and quite unfortunate in such a crucial moment Magalani just to make that mistake. I think it wasn't necessary for him to come off his goal, but he thought that Zeka could have gone to the ball first, and I think it was just that disruption from Zeka, and he lost sight of where the ball was.
And then I think confirmation of the goal has gone to Stephen Shoki. We're going to be going to the halftime break, and we hope you don't go anywhere. It's promising to be exciting. Caps United once on top, and now trailing by 2-1.
surprise first half indeed that we have just witnessed here. Goals already scored, but the balance not seeming to balance at all. It was Chawananga Kaonga who opened the scoring for Caps United. He scored in their first encounter this season, and he seems to love to score against Triangle. And you would think that's how the story was going to end. But later on, it was Aaron Zeka, and just right now, it was Stephen Jogi who made it 2 in favor of the visiting side, that is Triangle United. So it is Caps United 1, Triangle 2 after the first 45 minutes. A shocking turn of events that we've just witnessed here.
Well, what a way to end the half for Triangle at the cusp of half-time, getting that goal from Zeka, and I think a howler by Wallace Magalani really presenting Triangle with the second goal, and the fans, Caps United fans, not happy about. That has already thrown away my prediction where I predicted Caps to win 2-1, and Triangle are smiling at halftime. It will be a good pep talk for Jogi with his team at halftime.
Yeah, indeed, and Majavi, you predicted a draw, but it's going even better now.
I thought it was going to be a draw. It was 1-1. Of course, a mistake by the goalkeeper, Magalani. I feel so sorry for him. It's a game of football. A lot of mistakes, and at the same time, it's not at the right time. Where even the fans are not accepting anything that results in a defeat. And all the goals conceded, I think they've been forcing at him. And looking at the game, Caps United should at least be led this game from the beginning. They missed various chances, and before the penalty came in.
Yeah, indeed, and we talked about the fans taking a bit long to come into the stadium. They have come in their numbers, especially Caps United fans, and at this moment they are airing out some of the concerns that they have in terms of the team and how it has been managing today's game. But we want to start off the first 45 minutes from your end. How are you taking the performance coming in from Caps United?
Well, Caps United were the better team in the first half. I mean, Tanaka Shandir were pulling all the strings in the middle of the park. Kawonga doing very well. Njaliwa doing all the jet work in the midfield. I think they've done a great work. Chimtoshi playing on the right side. He was also getting cross inside. They missed a couple of chances. They could have been up 2-0 in the first half, and the chances that they didn't take them. Kawonga missed another one. Chirwa missed also a chance that they could have scored, but the whole first half it was Caps United dominating the game, and with Naga Shandirwa enjoying plenty possession. Unfortunately, in football, it's goals that count, and Triangle got the 2 goals. Despite not having plenty possession, they are leading Caps at the break.
And the goal that Caps United managed to get was from the penalty spot. And Bizabani coming out saying that I was close by their technical bench. He said I didn't touch him, but the penalty was given.
I think he did touch. Of course, I also didn't. I didn't see, but the confirmation of the camera, we saw that there was a little bit of a contact, and obviously, you can see from here. Yeah, of course, Chawananga was first to the ball, and a good call from the referee. And I think he just needed to admit and continue with the game.
I think it was also clumsy from the goalkeeper. Because Chawananga was there, we see the penalty. Well dispatched, and the keeper gets the right side. But I'm saying the keeper, Chawananga was going away from goal, and you commit a foul like that. That was an easy penalty to give away.
Yeah, indeed. But also taking a look at the goalkeeper himself, Bizabani made the 3 important saves consecutively. I think talk about him as a goalkeeper.
I think, he is a good goalkeeper altogether. Somehow, it happens. You get to concede. But I think it has been good and very good saves. And you can see here,
third one.
Save. Yeah, I think he did very well, good for his magnitude. But what is lacking in his game maybe is just the patience in himself, his decision making. Looking at the penalty, he considered it was a very good save for a goalkeeper. Obviously he did
Double
the best
save from the goalkeeper. I think he pulled a great effort there. As we see Caps United again piling on the pressure, looking to score. That was a good also save from the goalkeeper.
Yeah,
and keeping Triangle in the game.
Yeah, indeed, and that's what's important, keeping Triangle in the game. And they did that for a very long time until Aaron Zeka stepped up to the moment and scored a brilliant goal. I think we're going to be seeing highlights of those as Bizabani is enjoying a bit of spotlight there because he has been absolutely spectacular. But Aaron Zeka to find the equalizer for Triangle.
What a finish. The build-up, I think it was a goal from Pedra coming down here. The captain, and then what a neat pass. I think also finishing was superb.
There you have it.
See, very good volley. You know, a very good goal with a player of a magnitude of Zeka scoring such a goal, especially here at Rufaro Stadium. It means a lot.
And that technique, justice, not any player can score. So that was brilliant.
Unbelievable, yeah,
from Zeka to score that, smash it past the goalkeeper, and the Triangle really found the footing and confidence started growing, and they started doing well.
Yeah, and it was a brilliant goal by Aaron Zeka to just make sure that they found the equalizer, bringing themselves back into the encounter. They had done so much to contain Caps United, but giving away a penalty was the only demotivating factor. But there you have it on the screen. Aaron Zeka going for a kiss to the camera. What a celebration.
What a celebration. Of course, all those fans in the low veld, they'll be happy that the team managed to pull one back in the first half when it seemed like they were going to lose this one. They pulled it out of the bag.
Yeah, and there's that mistake by Magalane, and the final nail on the coffin for the first 45 minutes from Jogi.
What a howler, a harmless looking ball. And Jogi, you would not be, it's one of the easiest goals they have scored. It looked like he was just playing the ball back in the box. And I don't know what Wallace Magalani was thinking. And the howler, and what a mistake. This one really, you need to be brave if you to come back in the second half.
Yeah, you need to be brave. But 4 goals for Stephen Jogi this season, making enough contribution, especially at this stage, a game against Caps United.
You know, as a player, you know, he's making his stats very good, you know, and at the same time, if you get a goal, he got just lucky one, you know, he got it. I think it also counts. A goal is a goal, but with all his effort, I think he plays. He's a good player as well. Jogi, you know, he's contributing. You can see in the first half, he did quite a lot and trying to spread the defense for Caps United. But for him, he then got awarded with a goal, just a giveaway goal, I think I would say. Yeah, it's a huge mistake from Magalane with the type of a player he is. You know, I think he was slow also, his takeoff coming off the line, but it happens in football. It's normal, and it happens. Life has to go on, and looking forward, maybe he comes back stronger. I saw him crying when he was going to the dressing room, but I hope he is going to be stronger and stronger and stronger.
But what I also like of the Caps United players, as soon as they realized that he made that mistake, they all ran to him, trying to comfort him. Even at the final whistle, the players at the bench also came, went to him. There we see the reserve goalkeeper preparing, warming up, maybe to come in the second half.
Yeah, he'll be coming into the second half, but what a start. And the question is, Coach Tekshua Chiragwi, finding it hard to sort of contain this coach coming in from Triangle, that is Sejion. For Tekshua Chiragwi, the mentality here, you're seeing some of the changes in terms of just getting the goalkeeper there.
I think in their game, you know, they started very well, you know, creating chances, and they got them. Should have utilized.
Is coming in, is the goalkeeper.
Steve, you know, we know Steve, he's been there. You know, last year he was the goalkeeper, he was #1. I think also as an international player, he's a good goalkeeper. Yeah, basically, you know, he's very good in terms of whatever the attributes he have for goalkeeping basics. I think he's one of those goalkeepers who are better in this league. So obviously a change, it means something. Maybe it's pressure from the fans, but I don't know what Tekshua is thinking about.
Well, I think this change had to be made. I think Wallace Magalani himself is no longer in the game. I think mentally, I think he's lost it. I mean, the fans were calling for the sub. The fans were, it was fans that really pushed it. And for Caps United, not only just Wallace Magalani, I think the whole team is lacking confidence. Confidence is low right now in the Caps United camp. It needs somebody, a leader, who can really, they needed to win this game to get confidence. But Triangle has just pulled this one. And currently they're enjoying the game. they're not dominating the game, but they're enjoying.
Yeah.
They're managing to keep Caps in. Caps United are lacking confidence at the moment.
Yeah, capitalizing on that lack in confidence. You talk about Alexio Segion. He's an interim manager. The first game that he, coached the team was against Chikenin. They were defeated, but he's coming in a 1-goal lead from the first half. How is the conversation going like in the locker room?
I think he will probably continue. They at least managed the bombardment from Cape United in the first half, and they got 2 goals. If you look at the scoreline, you might think that's the text of the game. I think Cape United has been in control, but for him it's working up well. They are playing away, so you get into that. They are leading by 2 goals to 1. So you just have to continue the same players, put the same energy, get and to utilize every chance as it comes. And I think also they've managed to disconnect Cape United. Now they are disconnected. You see now they are opting to change the goalkeeper. That means a lot, in a team. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. There's the story there as well. Enjoying some of the highlights from the first half. We're about to cross over to the commentary to give us the rest of the game. How is it going to pan out? It's a big question, and it's about to be answered. So do stay with us.
An exciting end to the first 45 minutes with Wallace Magalani conceding what could probably be one of, if not the disappointing goals for any goalkeeper. Even Tekshua Chiragwi himself on the dugout would just shake his head and laugh. It was a disappointing goal, much to the dismay of the Caps United faithfuls, but something that brought hope for the team that's struggling. Now there's a belief that this could be their 3rd win of the season. So much to work on, so much to talk about, especially for Caps United in that dressing room. What do you think are the aspects that they touched on coming back into the second 45?
Yeah, they were just unfortunate in that second goal. I think all the hard work was undone in that moment when Magalani missed the ball. And if I'm to start with Triangle Tendai, they were quite inspired by that finish to the first half. And they were the first to come out from the halftime break. It shows you how much they want to get going in this game. That lead that they have, it matters a lot for them. But Caps United are going to come on them. And Tekshua Chiragwi in that dressing room probably had to console first Magalani and to tell him that it's okay. And it does happen to the best of the goalkeepers. But probably the mistakes have been happening a lot more than expected from him, and that's why the fans were on him. But just keep on going and playing the way they were playing. They were quite good, actually, Caps United. They created decent chances, and they just have to capitalize on those.
And with that, howler from Wallace Magalani is going to be replaced by Ghanaian goalkeeper Stephen Kwaku, who's going to be coming on maybe to save the game in the second 45. But maybe the message from Triangle at this point is to defend as heavily as they can, to put their lives on the line, to make sure that Caps United don't come in and cause any more problems. But what will he do? It's not only a goalkeeping problem that Caps United were having in the first 45 minutes. You also have to look into how maybe the back three was quite penetrable.
Yeah, it's a combination of both. Chendai Kwaku now getting that goal at halftime. I thought probably Magalani was going to continue, but I don't think he would have been in the right state of mind to continue. Kwaku getting that chance, probably not the best way for Magalani to be substituted in this game. But it matters a lot for Caps United. That back three, as you were saying, has not been so good so far, especially only 3 players playing in that back. They have been exploited well by Triangle, who have been able to get those spaces because the overload has been from the midfield going forward from Caps United.
So now Tichona Tigeri has blown the second half away. So it means we are now witnessing the second 45 minutes, and Caps United obviously want to respond. With Jogi scoring with the last kick off the first 45 minutes. Now, Ngurende. Jefferson Marua. Tabani Kamsoko. Looks like it's the player for Triangle who has gone to the ground, the skipper.
Yeah, it's been a while now. He has been on the ground. He has not moved a little bit. And at one point, he has hit hands on his head. And that would be quite a disappointment if he cannot continue. Very pivotal in that midfield, Kamsoko, with all his experience for Triangle as they try to probably defend this narrow lead that they now have. It probably matters a lot for them, especially when you're at the bottom of the log table. I think Caps United, with that score, with that goal from Triangle Tendai rather, tells you a story of their season. At one point they were unbeaten in the beginning of the season, on top of the log table, and they were flying. And these are the kind of games that tells you, especially after that game against the Rangers, who, to be honest, are very good themselves, how far they've fallen from where they were Caps United.
Tabari Kamsoko still on the ground. And I think he's just going to be stretched off the field of play, the 38-year-old.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for Kamsoko. I think it is probably a medical emergency here. He hasn't moved for a while, and I think they'll be attending to him quite urgently now.
Well, hopefully he does get back up on his feet, Tabani Kamsoko. The captain for Triangle, very instrumental for everything they were doing well in that first 45 minutes. Now he's been stretched off the field of play, Tabani Kamsoko. Well, prayers and thoughts go to him as medical attention is going to be administered to him.
Yeah, I think it was hit with the ball here, as we were just saying on that replay. It did hit the back of his head, which is also probably a concussion problem that needs urgent attention.
So Bizabani to play the restart for Triangle. Shandirwa collects in the middle of the park. There's two players on the left. Breta Midu charging forward. Chamboko. Now crossing it into the dangerous area. Bizabani collects, and Karembo for Triangle has gone down, but quickly gets up on his feet, quickly realizing they are men short already. Now Chintulika. And a foul conceded by Chitoshi Shiga.
Yeah, good from Jogi. I think he had beaten his marker before he was pulled down. And that'll be another free kick in a decent position for Triangle. Just see there is Jogi with a nice turn, and Chitoshi had to pull him. And that's why they have had a free kick now, Triangle.
So Dominic Msonda.
First challenge coming in for Kwaku. He was just coming from Magalani. I'm sure he would be praying not to make a similar mistake that Magalani did.
So ball into the box, and Kwaku almost beaten by the bounce of the ball. It could have been a goal for Dominic Msonda. Good anticipation when he was almost beaten there on the far post.
We're just talking about how Kwaku would not want to make a similar mistake, and that almost happened. He did well to recover on the second time. Yeah, a Navy moment for the substitute goalkeeper Kwaku.
So Tabari Kamsoko will not be coming back on the field of play and is going to be replaced by Aronimaki Zangai. The skipper, probably a concussion is what prompted him to go down and doesn't look like he's in the correct state to return and play. Now Gurende coming in to save Caps United. Shandirwa to Gurende. Amid to Shandirwa. Picking up the boxes, Tanaka Shandirwa. Now the play to Dominic Njaliwa. Achiro looking for options. Amidu. Njaliwa will float one in. And almost making a mistake. Obreo Chirinda was trying to play Chamboko. And probably it's going to be a corner kick that Caps United win. Almost looks like there was a lurk in communication between Chamboko and Obreo Chirinda. Another corner kick. Karembo almost playing it in his own net. And Karembo has gone down to the ground, and the substitution for Zangai coming in for Tabani Kamsoko.
Yeah, that'll be the change, but good momentum for Caps United. Getting 2 corners in a row. Will be very eager to get back straight into the game and find the equalizer here.
Caps United floating another corner in. This one goes long. And they've gone a third successive corner. And Chamboko will take from the opposite end. And that is Tabani Kamsoko in your picture. Jogi defends. Achiro, who played back to Chamboko. First time cross. And Bisabani collects.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers will be with Tabani Kamsoko. It does look like he will be okay. And the triangle players will want to play for him now.
Of course, do it for the captain, do it for the skipper. He did put in a fantastic shift in the first 45 minutes. So 53 minutes have gone by, and Caps United are trailing at home. This is their 10th outing here at Rufaro Stadium, their home stadium. And they've only managed to collect 6 wins here at Rufaro Stadium. Caps United are in a season where they haven't had so many wins, and 4 games is the longest they've gone without a win. They did it before they found a win against ZPC Kariba. The fortunes are not really favoring them, and Jorgi trying to hit it whilst Paco was not on his line.
Yeah, now I think Zangai came in from Kamsoko. We have the huge responsibility rather to keep the defense in the middle of the park a little bit stable, and also to try and keep Triangle ahead in this game. It's going to be a hard task with Cape United. Now looking forward to find the equalizer as early as they can.
Caps United will be hoping to make this one their 10th win of the season. Currently they have 9 wins out of 19, and making this the 20th. 4 losses and 7 draws. Not a really good return for a team that at some point was on the top of the table. And for a team that last won the league in 2016, there was belief that after 10 years, this could have been the magic number for them, and they would be winning it in 2026 as well.
Yeah, there was the belief, and also it looked like, it felt like, as we were just saying, that foul on Shandirwa. I think he led in badly after that tackle, landing on his side, probably injuring his shoulder as well, and that would take away some time again in the game. Caps United would have thought that they had a good advantage on top of the log table. We talked about how early it was to even talk about who was going to win it, and it's always a long season, and probably the season taking a toll now on Caps United players. Now with Wadi missing as well, who could have added a little bit of a different aspect in attack for them.
Shandirwa up on his feet. To be honest, not the best start to the second half. We were all expecting a lot of start-stops that will, of course, disturb the rhythm of the game. But at the end of the day, we always have to make sure that player safety and welfare is the first thing that is well taken care of. Triangle now trying to play with some intent. Gurende. Now Chitulika, crossfield pass. Looking for Chintuli. Now Shogu.
Now poor from Chitulika the time around.
Quick 1-2. Banjaliwa. Well in time, perfect place, perfect time to intercept. Karembo. Will play it out for a throw in.
Yeah, doing the hard work, Karembo. He got that deflection on that strike from Amidu in the first half. The big four will know exactly how much pressure is going to come through now from Cape United.
And they're weaving it through for Brett Amidu. Now Shandirwa will try to run with it in the middle of the park, but there's heavy traffic in front of him. Shandirwa to Richard Achiro. Now Kawonga, and it's a free kick, and you get a yellow card for kicking the ball after the whistle had been blown, but that is if Tigere is not lenient enough.
Yeah, it did look like for a moment he had his hand in his pocket there to get it. Good free kick in a decent position. I think Kawonga literally came into the way, and clever from Kawonga the time around. Just put his body in the way, and that's why perhaps you saw Ngazima not quite happy with that. But a foul either way, and to get it a little bit lenient, not to show the yellow. A good position here for Cape United with this free kick, a little bit straight towards the goal. But they have to be wary of that counter attack. Just saw how they left only Chitoshi and Njaliwa at the back, just on that center line. And Triangle will look forward to definitely exploit those numbers.
Very crucial moment for Cape United if they are going to be equalizing. They have come back from behind on so many occasions in the season. 3 players lining up, 2 behind the ball, 1 in front of it. Shandirwa almost looks like he's leaving his post. And then that's Kawonga. Left with Jefferson Maroa. But who of the 2? And off your picture, that's Tigere having a word with the Triangle defensive line with that wall. It has been a very stubborn defensive line. Every time there's a dead ball situation, Triangle have been really stubborn in listening to. Now Kawonga try to cause problems for Bizabani. I think he went there too quickly.
Yeah, leaning back a little bit, Kawonga as well. It's just putting too much on it. You can sense and see his frustration. Good approach to the ball, and it goes way over the bar. And disappointed to the fans in that city end for Cape United. I think they want an early equalizer. They want a win, nothing more, nothing less.
Playing it forward now, Chitoshi Shinga. We have to deal with Stephen Jogi. Kwaku, lucky there's Achiro there in the midfield. Njaliwa receives the pass from Tanaka Shandirwa. Ngazima to Chintuli. Now it's a foot race. That Chintuli almost thought that he was going to win. Confirmation of the scores there. Kawonga in the 30th. Zeka and Stephen Jogi at the later stages of the half. The opening half, that is. Gurende letting it through to Obreo Chirinda. Now Champoko crossing it in, and almost an equalizer, and fluffing his chance, Obreo Chirinda. Looking at the face of goal, but could not direct it to the back of the net. He will definitely rue that moment and that chance. Could have been 2 for Caps.
Yeah, it could have been the equalizer. What a chance for Chirinda on that rebound. The goalkeeper couldn't get hold of the ball. And you wonder how he ended up putting it over the bar, Chirinda, from such close range. Probably trying to adjust his foot to beat the goalkeeper. We had spilled it in front of him. And a huge chance for Caps United. And they failed to convert.
An opportunity for Caps United to level scores here. For a player who's usually direct in front of goal, Obreo Chirinda really let himself and the team down with that last attempt.
Yeah, David Bizabani is a lucky man in goal for Triangle. He spilled it directly in front of Chirinda, who probably had little time to think about where to put it. And it ended up going way over the crossbar. And what a let off for Triangle.
Then there's movement for Triangle on the dugout, on the touchline, on the byline, as Paga, the former Dynamos man, is about to be introduced. Now Breta Midu finding so much space. A Triangle player has gone down to the ground as we await for the substitution.
Yeah, I think it was he was hit by the ball, Ngazima, when Amidu was trying to put in the cross or play it forward. And the referee doing all he can, quickly calling the medic to come and attend to him, because there's been some concern in terms of how much time has been wasted because of the other injuries to Kamsoko especially. I think they will be lengthy at the time as well.
So as we await the substitution for Paga to come on. And I think he's been given a yellow card for delaying to leave the field of play, Tawanda Chatulika. I think that's the latest yellow card from Tigere. And they will take as much time as they want since they are leading Triangle. And Emmanuel Parker has come on. Caps United try to feed the balls into the box, taking early crosses and crosses from the deep now. Achiro to Shandirwa, who's now playing between the centre backs. Still full of energy, Emmanuel Parker. Have they been introduced in the 63rd minute? Now Triangle are trying to play quickly on the counter charge. Shandirwa, Chitoshi Shinga. One defender to the other, Chamboko to Chitoshi Shinga. Oh, Chitoshi Shinga is not one of your gifted ball-playing defenders. Doesn't keep the ball for way too long. He's always on the cautious side of things. Now Obreo Chirinda trying to flick it. Obreo Chirinda now finds Chamboko, who is out of options. Played through again. Now Ngurende. Shandirwa trying to connect first time. And another chance that goes backing for Caps United, as Kaonga fails to convert.
Yeah, I think they've been trying and pushing forward Caps United. I think they'll get a corner kick for this. There was a deflection on it. I'm trying to take it quickly. You can just see here that cross into the box. A miscue here from Shandirwa, and it went straight to Chirinda, who then, as he was falling down, managed to put a strike on it, but a deflection to give them a corner kick. But the fans are not happy. I think they should be able to do more tonight.
The Caps United fans are probably disappointed with Caps United the way they are playing. Shawananga Kaonga delivering one in. Bisabani clears. And there is a foul. Bretta Medu just pulling Gazima.
Yeah, you can just see Seiji on the line, encouraging his players to slow it down. And going on into the last 25 and 24 minutes, you'll be encouraged with the lead that they still have, Seiji on. There's still a lot of time for Cape United to get the equalizer or even the win. I think they just have to be a little bit much more clinical in front of goal.
Chintuli. Two defenders keeping tabs on him. Gazima. Now Obro Chirinda. Petra coming in at the right time to stop any thoughts of them going forward. And there's also movement on the touchline for Cape United. Is it about to make a substitution of their own? Junior Malcolm will be introduced in place of Debson Maroa. So it's number 29 for number 22. And Debson Maroa will leave the field of play with the earliest or with the quickest exit point or the nearest exit point. Junior Malcolm Banisi. Shandirwa losing that battle, that aerial duel to Jogi. Now Parker to have the first few off the ball in their final third. And it's a corner kick for Triangle.
Yeah, good from Parker, doing exactly what his manager would want him to do. And that would also take away some time from the game. I think Triangle was starting to believe that they can get a win here. And what a world of good that can do to them. Cape United desperate to get back in the game. Just look at the time that Triangle will be taking to take that corner kick. And Kwaku also a little bit much more nervous after getting in from Magalani after that mistake from Magalani in the first half.
So corner kick comes in, a glancing at her. Tigeri has blown for a foul. The ball has been played rolling as the call from Tigeri. He's a no-nonsense official. Doesn't even let the slightest of mistakes go unpunished.
Yeah, sticking to the rules. Tigeri, good to see. And also probably implementing that first rule from FIFA for the first time in the Gasolaga Premiership.
Chambogo was trying to cut inside but lost the ball to Jogi. Achiro meeting those passes in a triangle manner for Cape United. Achiro finding Chambogo was well open. First time cross. Good idea coming in from Chambogo.
Yeah, good idea from Chambogo. I don't think the other players realized what he wanted to do. First time cross into the box. No one read that cross, and it went straight to a very happy David Bizabani. I think he has done well, the goalkeeper Bizabani for Triangle. He's been able to make crucial saves, especially that one in the first half.
Now they have an opportunity to equalize. First free opportunity for the newly introduced substitute, Junior Malcolm. The connection was good.
Yeah, but Tirinda was in some good space. I think that's why he's not happy with that. Just look, there was a pass for Tirinda who was way along in that 16 area. But Banisi coming in as a substitute thought he was the one to get that equalizer for his team. Probably a rush of blood, but he was eyeing goal. And you would understand for a winger if he gets a chance in that position to take it first time. But Chirinda could have been a better pass.
Who doesn't want to be on the headlines for being a super sub? Saving a team from going from 2-1 down to 2-2. A good strike and the connection was good. It's just the direction which the ball was supposed to go. There was a little bit lurking for Junior Malcolm Banisi. Now a confirmation of another substitution as Chamboko has come off. Now Obreo Chirinda. Too slow to release it to Shandirwa, who was crying for it on the left side. Now Junior Paga. Emmanuel Paga. Bringing Chitoshi Shinga ground, who's rolling on the ground. Looks like there was a foot that was stuck to his face as Paga was tumbling down. And he's just being assisted by Kwaku. They do want to get with proceedings early as soon as possible. Caps United not wanting to waste any more minutes.
Yeah, Kwaku just urging Chitoshi to get up on his feet in his pain, encouraging him to soldier on. There's a few pockets of Triangle fans enjoy themselves. As well as Caps United fans, we have not stopped singing and dancing, still believing that they still have an impact on this game.
Not a good control from Paga. He was trying to keep it in play and keep it to himself. And Tigeri with another yellow card. And he has been... Tigeri has been flushing these yellow cards. Almost like a reflex to him.
Yeah, trying to edge on the players not to waste time and to allow that Caps United throw in to be taken quickly. I think also there will be a lengthy at a time to come because of the stoppages that we've come through. Paga will get the yellow.
Shandirwa occupying the space where Njaliwa was. Well, ever since Kwaku came on for Magalani, he hasn't been troubled that much. But such was the nature of things even for Magalani. It only took one instant of madness to give Triangle the lead.
Yeah, good defensive work from Triangle as well coming into the second half. They knew it was going to be tough, but they've been matching up with Caps United, not allowing them too much spaces. Even though Caps have been able to create some decent chances here and there, just not enough for them to get the equalizer. Now, not sitting too deep, Triangle. Likes of Paga also stretching Caps United defenses, always giving them something to think about. I think they've done so well, and Sergio will know that is ever so closer.
Technically gifted Achiro evading the pressing Paga. Amidu was almost looking for a pass to Delik Murimba when you would have thought he was going to go alone, unmarked, unattended, and went for a drift touch instead of going for maybe a goal.
Yeah, Bizabani was off his line. He went and came and couldn't get to the ball. And Amido probably had much more time than he thought that time around. I could have decided to dink it over the goalkeeper. Unfortunately, he went straight to the goalkeeper. As you can probably just see it here. Chiro playing it long. And the goalkeeper was out. And then he missed it that time around. And Amidu. A miscue, if anything else, from Amidu that time around.
Brett Amidu. Shandirwa. Quick 1-2 between the three players. Amidu, Shandirwa, and Burende. Now Chitoshi Shinga charging forward. Taking his time, looking for a pass. 15 minutes left, as we have seen 75 minutes of football here at Rufaro Stadium. Now Shandirwa. Obreo Chirinda losing his footing. Rather, it was a Chawananga Kaonga.
Yeah, keeping a highline triangle. And that has worked well so far for now. Not allowing Caps United the free will to pass it around.
Shiro almost making a mistake there with Aaron Zeka. Lurking. Now Shandirwa playing it to Delik Murimba, who finds Brett Amidu. Almost a goal coming in from chaos. And Kaonga has found the back of the net. But there is a plea for a foul from Triangle as they believe the ball was taken in whilst Bisabani had control of it.
Yeah, they have to watch themselves, the Triangle United players surrounding the referee, almost putting hands on the referee. We have to see it on the replay tonight. It did look like probably there was some contact on the goalkeeper. It wasn't clear cut. But the goal having been confirmed, as we just see here on the replay. Cross from Amidu. And the goalkeeper, yeah, probably had his hands faced on the ball. And then it looked like he spilled it though.
It's very close, very tight to call. Brett Amidu with a first time cross, and that's Bisabani with the ball.
Yeah, it was the goalkeeper who got his hands first, but he spilled the ball into the pathway.
It's very tight for you to call it.
But you can see that touch and the player coming in.
Looks like a foul. I mean, Kaonga came in sliding. It was too late for him to withdraw the charge that he was applying going to the ball. But I think the goalkeeper was well in position to hold the ball.
Yeah, the foul came through as Kaonga was trying to get to the spilled ball, and then he had contact with the goalkeeper, which it should be, and then it should be given as a foul.
No, it'll be very harsh if this is not overturned. But I mean, these are the moments you wish there was some sort of assistance, smart, to help and guide the match officials.
Look, I think the goalkeeper did spill the ball, if you take a look at it. And in that moment, that's when Kaonga came through, definitely leaving something on the goalkeeper. That's why Triangle players are up in protest, arguing their case. Unfortunately, there isn't any video assistant technology to replay that incident.
Well, I'm of the opinion that it is a foul.
Yeah, but Tigeri has to take control of the situation with how the Triangle players are all over him.
Of course. When you are well aware of getting your third win of the season against a team that...
Well, my argument would be he definitely did not check the ball away from the goalkeeper's hand. He went in just at the moment where the goalkeeper spilled the ball. And you can see from the replay, the goalkeeper even tried to pull him back down on that replay as well.
I would think it's reflex, as he was looking into the ball already. And that's the earlier incident. And that's him.
He spilled it.
He spilled the ball. Looks like he spilled the ball.
And that's when
you can talk of the charge.
And you can also see that hand in the goalkeeper. And after that, they started rolling around.
The more you see it, the more it becomes difficult.
Yeah, but definitely contact on the goalkeeper. No argument about that. Maybe the referee would say he just saw him spilling the ball. Probably this angle will tell us more. But that's when
it's very tight, to be honest. The other angle, the moment it slowed down, almost looks like he's spilled the ball.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both, and the goalkeeper spilling it and also the challenge coming through. Definite contact on the goalkeeper, and probably should have been a foul.
Well, you'd have to think of what the Caps United fans are thinking, and have to think of what the Triangle fans are thinking in this instance. Obviously, for Triangle, they would believe that they are done by this decision from Tigeri to award the goal when it felt like Kaonga had charged in and illegally taken the ball from Bisabani.
Yeah, especially because sometimes the referees have to give the benefit of the doubt to the goalkeepers. We do see it in some instances when the goalkeeper jumps for the ball, and in that instance I would have thought probably it could have been a fair decision to award the foul and give the free kick to Triangle.
A case of two teams fighting for one thing, another survival, another trying to regain top sport. Caps United have now been given the goal, and it's now an equalizer. Kaonga, 2 goals to his name in this game, and the third time he scored against Triangle this season. Hamidu. Bitten to the ball. Well, it is what makes the games exciting. There's going to be a lot to talk about. I believe those sports shows are going to have a lot to digest this coming week in regards to this decision. Gurende. Delik Murimba.
Yeah, a key moment in the game tonight, that decision. I think that would give Cape United the impetus to think that they can go on and win it. And for Triangle, it also does mean a lot. It could have been 3 points now. It looks like it can be a single point. There's still some minutes left for Cape United to make it 0 points for them.
Jogi. Espaga on his right. A well read Petra. And Petra wins the free kick. The tempers are flaring, it's more becoming emotional. A point has to be proven. But if so, it has to be done in the most proper way. So Ariel Makopa to take the free kick as he sends the ball forward. So throw into Triangle United. A long way they've come. Some noteworthy moments coming in from match day number 20, day number 2 of it, that is. And Petra quite cheeky with a throw in. Delik Murimba. And has been instructed by Tegeta to get up. Oh, good turn from Zeka. So much space. Now Shoki. Paka. As he was opening up his body, I thought maybe he was going to go for the end swinger. Now Petra. Ashton Tuli. Petra darting forward. Cross it to the box. And they have a throw in.
Yeah, good from Triangle. Very good reaction after Cape United got that equalizer. Pushing forward now. Almost looking like they're the ones who won the victory more than the other. Now they have a chance here with a free kick. And Cape United third. They're not settling for the point here.
Paka was going for the spectacular, but ended up hitting man more than ball. And Jalio seems to be back up. At this point in time, everyone is trying anything. Whatever works goes, I believe. Or whatever goes works in that order.
Texio Chiragi in loud voice on the line. Not happy with what he's saying. Cape United have had a difficult game so far. But with lacking having it, they were able to get that equalizer. Some dispute. Newton Dye and me still not agreeing on exactly what we saw that time around.
Or at least points are not deducted from either one of us because of this disagreement.
Yeah, but I think also the reaction from Triangle players towards the referee wasn't very pleasing to see. Tegeta keeping his cards in his pockets in that time, but I thought there was actually contact on him at some point.
Well, the contact was obviously there, but I mean the question is, was the ball in his hands? That seems to be the most important question to ask. And what came through, was it the follow-up or the follow-through from Kawonga that caused all that pandemonium and the drama? Parker flicking it up. Keeping it safe. Here's Njaliwa. Now the ball sent forward. Karembo. Now Shandirwa. He's been instructed to get back up. Delik Murimba fighting for it.
Good from Triangle.
Brett Amidu, being a victim of his own pace, was trying to play it quickly, but as he did that, he just snipped the ball at the front of his toes.
Yeah, quite unfortunate, Amidu. And you can just see Texas Chiragui, how anxious he is, and loud voice on the line. And that time around, Amidu was unlucky. And the ball running away from him. We were talking about contact. I was actually referring to the contact on the referee.
Oh yeah.
From the Triangle players. I thought there was probably a yellow or a red card in there.
Oh, of course, they've been let scot-free on a lot of occasions with the way they've been approaching the match official. Paga brought down to the ground. A lot of contact from Caps United players as they're using hands more than feet. And you now start to see that a section of Triangle players now comfortable with probably a draw. No longer rushing things at this point in time.
Yeah, I think they've played so well, Triangle. Sage John will be quite happy with what he has seen. Probably unfortunate to consider the equalizer at some point, but their responses has been very good, especially after going a goal down in that first half to go into the break leading. And for a certain point in this second half, playing so well whilst in the lead as well.
Well, it's the resilience and the belief that they can keep on going forward. Achiro. Kaonga beat into it by Karembo. And Shogi is down. And medical assistance who gets to him as he's holding his head. I think it was an earlier challenge and he was trying to fight for the ball when the cross came in from deep.
Yeah, precious minutes here. Caps United would want to check more advantage with the few remaining minutes in this game. Will be quite keen to see how much time is going to be added on because of the start-stops that we've seen. We did see that injury to Kamsoko, and also the arguments that came after that equalizer as well, taking so much time before the restart could go on. So probably some hefty minutes to be added as we wait to see how much time the fourth official is going to be adding.
The first penalty which Kaonga scored, giving Caps United the lead. And Aaron Zeka without equalizer, a perfect strike from a perfect cross.
With a celebration as well from Zeka. A good finish that time around. And this moment in the game changed the aspect of this game quite clearly, going into the break with Zeka with a clean finish.
And that Makalani howler after Shogi had.
Yeah, there's nothing else you can tell the goalkeeper that time around. Very unlucky Magalani, and probably the most controversial moment.
The most controversial moment of the game. The biggest talking point. The moment that gives Caps United the equalizer. Now Chintuli. There's so many green shirts ahead of him. Chintuli trying to play Zeka through. Kwaku coming through and defending his lines.
No, I think there was a big pass from Amidu that time around, and Kwaku did well to direct it away from the striker. That could have been another moment for Caps United. And they're very lucky to escape without being punished that time around.
So Pedra, and it's considered a throw in. Now Caps United will try to win something here in the last 5 minutes. And I think with all the laws changing, one thing that hasn't changed in the Casablanca Premier League is time wasted is probably compensated for. Now Zeka only has Paga in front of him. Now Pedra. Gazima. Not the best pass from Gazima. Junior Malcolm finds Tanaka Shandirwa. Taking it over. Kaonga. And it's gone out of play. Now Gurende. Well, Tanaka Shandirwa has done everything in his power. Pedra leaving the ball. Now Kaonga still holding on to the ball, but it's going to be a corner kick. And it's a goal kick. And he's always in those dangerous areas. No one seems to pick him up. Just rising up, sprouting when no one else thinks that he's going to be there.
Yeah, he has put in the hard work, Kaonga, this afternoon. And unfortunate for him, he was the one who got the last toss. And it is going to be a goal kick. And another substitution coming through from Triangle. You were talking about at the time. There should have been more, to be honest, with the number of stops that we've seen. I think they took away probably 8 minutes from the game, 8 to 10 minutes. I'm quite surprised to see only 5 minutes being added on.
I mean, with the start-stops, the number of times we saw. I remember there was a time Tabani Kamsuko went to the ground. We also saw Joki go down to the ground, even Bizabani as well. Man, you would have thought that after all those stoppages...
No, probably a minimum of 10.
Minimum of 10, but I think it's one of the things that we wait to see in terms of laws being amended, in terms of time wasted, time compensated. Shinga to Gurende. Pedra going for safety more than anything else. Shandirwa. Is there going to be a last minute goal? Obrao Chirinda playing a 1-2. Chirinda. And then Karembo has played it out of the confinements of the pitch. A corner kick to be played. Caps United fans watching anxiously.
Yeah, important set piece for Caps United. As we get into the last 2 minutes of the game, you need a good delivery here, with everyone almost pushing forward, with only Achiro, the last man defending the halfway line.
So now a corner kick that will come from the far side, the junction between the Vietnam and the city end. It is going to be crucial if only it falls exactly where it needs to fall. A lot of movement in that defensive box or that attacking box for Caps United. Across into the box. Chitosha Shinga. Now Shandirwa has been tumbled to the ground. And the fight is breaking down between Parker and Shandirwa. Tempers are flaring now as the game is almost coming to an end.
Yeah, not good scenes to see. Texo Chirag with the manager having to come through as well as the fourth official to try and check the players apart. I think it all stemmed from that. Shandirwa and Paga coming through, trying to go for the ball. I think it was a clear throw in that should have been going to Caps. Was there a touch anywhere here? Yeah, a push on the back on Shandirwa. And then Paga thought that he was supposed to take the throw in. And after that,
incidents there with Paga and
the chaos
Shandirwa.
erupted. Now Paga going to call out the ball, and Shandirwa felt that was a foul clearly on him.
Well, if anything, this game has given us moments of madness more than moments of pure magic. Sonyasha Gurende has been given a yellow card, and I think Paga and Shandirwa will go without a card. Kaonga. Now Shandirwa. Oh, hard launch coming in from Aaron Zeka. But to get it, doesn't blow it. It's becoming more of a jungle out there. Wildlife scenes in the middle of the park. It's more about survival now more than it is about the game. And with that, Aaron Chana Tigeri has blown the final whistle. Almost lost for words with this game that has ended up in a draw. Started off beautifully, but at the end of the game, it was just chaos, madness. 1 or 2, 3 players could have been injured with all this chaos that was happening. A lot of things that we don't want to see in the beautiful game. A lot of yellow cards have been given as well. A lot of talking points, big talking points. But at the end of the day, Matchday 20, day number 2, ends with Triangle 2 and Caps United 2.
Yeah, to get the man in the spot, he had to make the difficult decisions. And Caps United will feel like it's 2 points dropped again in a game. In that first half, they thought they should have had the control all through to the 90 minutes. But credit has to go to Triangle, the way they approached this game. Never played like it's a team sitting on the bottom of the log table. And some points in the second half, they were in control, also in the lead until that moment. Caps United managed to find the equalizer. A lot will be talked about that moment as well. A lot of introspection into whether or not it was a foul. But nevertheless, at the end of the day, it's a point each for both teams. Caps United probably would feel like they've lost more than they've gained here. And Triangle would have loved to make it 3 points, but at least it's a single point for them. And they're a long way back to Triangle. It won't be as bad of a ride with a single point for Sejion and his squad.
So thank you for everyone who tuned in into this live broadcast of Caps United playing against Triangle. It ended up in a stalemate 2-2. But remember, we still have the World Cup to be showcased, the last, probably one of the last group games where Ghana will be playing against Croatia, so please tune in. So now we're switching over to Sandra, who's going to be talking to the referees and the player of the match.
All right. Caps United 2, Triangle United 2. That's the story coming out here from Rufaro Stadium. A game that lived up to expectations, but some scenes that we do not condone. But the game progressed quite nicely, and now I'm going to be talking to the coaches, starting with Sejion, the coach, the interim coach for Triangle United. Coach, a 2-2 draw here at Rufaro Stadium. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's a better result for the team. We are looking forward for a positive change for the team. So it's a point gain on our way.
Yeah, an away game indeed. But in terms of the progression of the game from the first 45 into the second, how did the boys play from your view?
Yeah, the boys played according to instruction, and we managed to create 2 goals from what we planned. So we are happy with the boys first half and second half. We are okay with the boys.
Surviving relegation is the idea. Is the dream still alive?
Yeah, it's a game of football. Anything can change anytime. We are not losing hope. We still keep on fighting up to the last day.
Okay, thank you so much, Coach, and all the best in your next game.
Thank you so much.
That was Coach Sejion, the interim coach, coming in there for Triangle, and now joined by the hosting team coach, that is Coach Tekshua Chiragwi. Coach, it was a big game, but 2-2 draw is what you were able to get. Take us through your thoughts and feelings about the game.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to thank God, to be honest, and where you thought you are going to collect maximum points, it goes the other way. And if you look, those mistakes that we've made, they've also costed us 2 points, very crucial points. But like I've always said, it's done and dusted. We don't have to keep on mourning. What is important is to take the positives. Then we make sure that you can also rise and go forward. But I think we had all it takes to control the game and repeat it off to get 3 points. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way we wanted. But at the end of the day, we also want to accept what we got today, a point. On another day, we could have lose again this game with those mistakes. But I think overall, we tried our best. The guys, they've tried their best, and we keep on trying our best. We don't lose hope. We are still going on, and we thank God that we managed to get a point rather than to get nothing.
Yeah, it was a big game from your part, but in terms of looking forward, the idea of for a long time you were at the top of the table, but now you are now looking for points to get back up there. What is the movement going forward?
Yeah. Very correct. Like I've said on pre-match, that we really need to pick ourselves up. And if you see today, I think the performance that we did, we tried, and when you had the momentum, that's where we consider a goal. When you have the momentum and we come back very strong, try to make sure that you can get early goal, probably in the first 10 minutes from the half time, but we couldn't manage to get the goal. We kept on coming and we managed to get a goal, but we kept on coming and we couldn't manage again to find a winner. But I think we did very well. We just need to accept what we got today and we move forward.
Okay, all the best, coach.
Thank you so much.
That was the coach Tekshua Chiragwi giving us the sentiments as to how the game has been progressing, and now I'm going to be joined a bit later on by Justice Majavi and Spencer Nyamadao. They were with me for the pre-game, the halftime break show as well, and also we've got the player of the match, that is Bizabani David. A good game that you have had. Take us through how you're feeling.
It was a good game for me. Despite that, unfortunately, we didn't manage to win today, but it was a good game for both of us in the team also.
Okay, so take us through how you were feeling. 3 consecutive saves that you made in the first half. How was that moment, and how did you keep yourself so calm to make that recovery and shield the goal?
Yeah, it was a matter of I was watching the ball. So if you are watching the ball, you can go and resave again. So it's only that I was watching the ball and nothing else.
Okay, so in terms of celebration, what are we doing later?
We are going out, yes, definitely.
Okay, so congratulations and all the best in your next game.
Thank you.
Okay, that was Bizamani. The man of the match for this one is the goalkeeper for Triangle United, and most certainly deserving of that accolade. Made so many crucial saves coming in from the first half, going into the second half. A big game, and now I've got my 2 compatriots. They are back again, but that is the man of the match for the day. Well deserving,
and I think he kept trying in the game. He made about 6-7 saves that kept the game within reach for Triangle, and he was just unfortunate on that second goal. I think for me it was a foul. He didn't deserve to have been scored. It was actually a foul from the Caps United player.
Yeah, you pointed him out off air that he was your man of the match for the day, and he's won that prestigious, accolade.
Definitely, obviously he considered a penalty, but that does not count the outcome of his performance. He did very well, triple save, also some quality distribution. We saw a lot in him, and he's a very good goalkeeper. And you can see here, I think he had got
very unfortunate. He got there and the ball first.
He got the ball first.
Yeah,
and the follow through.
Yeah, the follow through. I think that collision. I think it's a foul. Should have been given a foul. Unfortunately, I don't know. Maybe the position of the referee, but that
was the foul.
Just unfortunate.
Chief Justice, that was the foul any league, any day. And I think it was just bad officiating from the referee there.
Yeah, what a moment that was. Certainly deciding how this was going to pan out. They could have collected 3 maximum points, but it was that moment that changed everything for Triangle United. How detrimental is that going to be later on as we move on?
Well, I think it's a valuable point. They would have loved to have taken 3 points here at Rufaro Stadium, back to the low veld. But 1 point on the road, I think it's a good point. As we see the penalty that was dispatched in the first half, that's how Caps took the lead through Kaonga.
Yeah, indeed. And let's just talk about it as well on that note. There's that delivery from the penalty spot by Chawonga. It was most certainly beautiful. But let's talk about the officiating throughout the game while we're still on that point. How did you feel from the first half to the second half? The white card that was being flighted?
I think the referee, for me, he had a very bad game. For me, he was not spot on. Only on the penalty, he did it, but throughout the game, he wasn't spot on. He failed also in many occasions. to caution the players who've been following him, and at the same time, I think his communication with the players was very bad. Looking at also the fouls which were happening, you also saw the brows. He didn't manage them very well, and lately he was bringing out a white card. I don't know where it was coming from, what it means, but I think it's a huge mistake altogether. A game like this, you should not be decided by a match official. I think altogether you saw the texture of the game. Second half, Triangle did very well. Yes, he gave out a goal instead of a free kick to the goalkeeper. He should have at least protected the goalkeeper.
Yeah, from your end?
Just to talk about the officiating, I think the referee, he was overwhelmed by the occasion. I think he's a new ref, he's a young ref coming up. I don't want to crush him, but I want to say there's a lot of takeaways from this game. Areas that he needs to work on in terms of handling the game, not allowing players to take charge. He is the one who's in charge, and I'm not sure if he forgot his card somewhere else where he was flashing a white card. I'm not sure what that white card means, and I think it's an area that maybe the match commissioner and the referee association will also help this ref, because we don't have too many refs in this country. So I think they just need to work on his weaknesses so that he can improve. But overall, he didn't have a good game. He didn't cover himself in glory in this game.
Yeah, and also the final scenes, you highlighted them, that it wasn't good to behold. But in terms of players managing that sort of anger because of what was happening on the field of play, they sort of allowed themselves to be overtaken by anger there, as we saw.
Yeah, frustration comes in. There was something on stake. So obviously, as a player, you're looking forward to winning, and the match doesn't go your way. And also the decision sometimes it also affects, and towards the end of the game, you see mentally the players they are tired, and they start going, at least, haywire, I would say. And if you come into these situations, I think that's where more important the referee should control, and you should also stamp your authority as a referee.
And just to add on to that, football is about emotions, and sometimes it's very emotional. As we see those saves from the goalkeeper, deservingly man of the match, there is making 3 saves, and they did a good job to keep the scoreline decent.
Yeah.
And kept pushing and pushing. Again, another save there. That's the 5 saves in a space like 2 minutes, and he did a great job.
Yeah, he did a great job indeed, as we are seeing scenes from the first half. Some play there, that was Obrel Chirinda trying to find something, place it in the back of the net, but Bizabani was the man that made sure that it didn't get up to 5 or 6 goals. But you talk about that movement, especially in the first half, the development of the squad. Tekshua Chiragwi, he believed they can step up a little bit, but the first half, was it really giving the idea that they are title contenders?
In the first half, I think Cape United, they did probably 80% of everything correct. They created chances, into the game. They could have just utilized the chances and score goals. You saw Chirinda had a chance, also Chaonga had a chance. Maybe they could have gone to the break, leading by at least by a marginal goal difference, but when you see you are playing against a team which are running away from the relegation, it's quite difficult. They also have Sejon. He's also as a coach, he wants to improve himself. He was a former Cape United coach as well last season, so now they come here with a very good squad, experienced. And obviously, these games, you market yourself as a player. Everyone has got motivation. The confidence was high. You could see the way they played. They had authority in some stages, and also getting 2 goals before halftime. It means a lot for them. And for Texua, I think pressure was too much as well. And considering they were also missing 2 key players in the team, it's quite hard. And especially up front there, they were lacking, in so many occasions.
Yeah, there's that goal once again to just make sure that they get something off the bounce. That was Aaron Zeka coming in there.
That was a great goal. I mean, a team effort from Kamsoko. And the cross was good. The first time connection on the volley and the half volley, and nothing Wallace Magalani could have done there.
Yeah, indeed. But also talking about Kamsoko, he is one player that got out because of injury. Was he contributing much before then?
Yeah, I think you saw it. We saw it in the first half. You know, some experience and also the way he controls the game in midfield. It was really good. He's a leader. You know, he was driving from the midfield going up. You know, the timing, the passing. You know, I think he did very well in the first half. The ship was steadying, and of course after he went out, you know, nothing much changed. But you could see also there was a gap a little bit. No one was controlling the boy. It was all scuffle and here and there, fighting, tussles, a lot of things happening on the field. But I think for him, despite we don't know the magnitude of the injury he got, but I think he did very well in this game with his experience.
Okay, so Zangai came in for Kamsoko there. But talking about change that was made not because of injury but because of actions on the field of play, Wallace Magalani, he somehow, somewhere, it seems as though he didn't want to continue the game. What separates the greats from the, you know, the players that just perform?
For me, that's lack of character. I mean, as a player, you are there to make mistakes. Of course, unfortunately, when a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it leads to a goal. But that's where goalkeepers with great character rise from the ashes. I mean, there was no business for him to refuse to play that game. Mistakes are part of the game, as long as you know that. And you lift yourself from those mistakes by making those crucial saves. Look at the triangle goalkeeper. He conceded a penalty in the first half, but look at the amount of saves he made, and he kept trying in the game. He showed great character. For me, that's being, I don't know if it's childish or lack of character. For me, I call it lack of character. He should have come back in the game and played the game.
Yeah, from your end, Justice.
Yeah, it's the same, you know. Mistakes happen, you know, and the name of this game, you know, is about mistakes. And obviously, as a goalkeeper, you know, you take responsibility. I think he's not a young player. He's a senior player. He's been in the league for quite long. He understands a lot, and you could have just proven himself here, big heart, and just continue with the game. And obviously, you are giving a chance to another player. You don't know what happens in the next matches.
Yeah, and let's talk about Tekshua Chiragui, the pressure. Now, before the game, it was a 10-point lead that Scotland have had on them, but now it is now 9 points, but not much change. They could have reduced, but it didn't happen in a home game.
Well, I think 9 points seems a lot of points, but it's 3 games in speaking. But it's 3 games that are hoping other results go your way. But I think Caps United have hit a bad patch, and they have been exposed in terms of quality. Even on the bench today, they didn't have quality. Where they're missing Ishmael Wadi, they're missing Benura. These are key players that really carry the day. But today they were exposed that they don't have quality. They need to add more quality if they are going to compete with the likes of Scotland, Hard Rock. I think these teams definitely do have quality. For Caps United, they've got a lot of numbers but not quality. They need to get quality if they are going to compete. For the league, I think it's slowly running away from them, and they know it. I mean, they led almost until the first half when Scotland took over, and right now Scotland have just hit a purple patch, and the only team maybe that can stop Scotland right now could be Hard Rock because of the quality they have.
Yeah, indeed, it has been an absolutely phenomenal game, raising a lot of questions, but some of the answers we've been able to receive. The rest will be answered a little bit later on as the league progresses. I am Sandra Maganye, and I was joined by Spencer Nyamadzao. Thank you so much for coming through.
Always a pleasure. What a game we watched. A triangle going back to the low belt with a point in the bag.
Yeah, quite exceptional, and Justice Majavi, an honor.
Thank you, Sandra. I think it was a good afternoon, I would say, with goals. You know, we always want to see goals. I think it's and a lot of chaos like this, especially the referee. You know, I think he just have to carry himself from this game, and also try to make and amend and understand the situations which are happening on the field.
Yeah. Okay, so that is the story coming in here from Rufaro Stadium. It was Caps United who played to a 2-2 draw against Triangle United. But you need to remember, football doesn't stop here. There is a 10 o'clock p.m. kickoff in the FIFA World Cup 2026. Ghana will be taking on Croatia, and I'm not sure, we don't need to tell you who to support, but hey, we're going to leave it there. Until we meet again next time, it is a goodbye for now.